Appliance Hauling, 314-249-2951.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Join the conversation digitally. Download the radio.com app so you can live stream from anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And now, please welcome to the Annie Frey Show, Annie Frey.
I gotta say, where I was on vacation, that's kind of how it feels. Everywhere you walk around, there's fanfare. They make you feel like you're special. And then you come back to this show and it's happening still.
Yes.
Makes me want to stay. Why am I talking into the side of my microphone like this is the first time I've ever done this?
It's hard to just do it again. It's like riding a bike, but initially when you pick up the bike and you put your butt on the seat, you're like, aye.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yesterday was kind of a buffer day for me. And so I spent, fight me, people, 11 days at Disney World, and I regret none of it. And if I could go back right now, I would do it. Take that, coronavirus. You suck. I had a great time and loved every minute of it. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I don't know, like I just said to Katie right before we started, I go, do people want to hear about me or do they want to hear about the Missouri primary? Which is why we have Tim Jones coming on at 12:25, because that dude's going to lay it out for you. And I'm going to be honest, I unplugged for 11 days and I have not been following this. Lacey Clay lost his primary. Cori Bush won that. That's national news. That is a huge friggin' story here. I'm looking at let's see, where's the article here? See, this is where I am teetering on my bike here. Doug Schoen on Fox News said Tuesday's primaries had two big winners, and Cori Bush is listed as one of those people. So this is a huge deal, and I am very, very excited to have Tim Jones come on here in 20 minutes. Not even 20 minutes, in 15 minutes, and react to everything and tell you exactly what the implication is. I will add to just a little bit of that, what Chris said on our Facebook page. He said, glad to have you back on the air. Hope the vacay was recharging. After the primary in St. Louis City and County, no one from that area needs to say a word to us stuck in Illinois because they are voting the same way that put our state in such a tailspin. And I have to say, Chris, you should just do the show today and I should watch you because that is a brilliant point. That is so correct. Ryan, you are an Illinois resident as I am. And so I don't know how much you've been diving into this. And I want to remind people, come watch us on Facebook Live. We're back on Facebook Live, the Annie Frey YouTube page. We're back up and running and we want to charge ahead. But Ryan, it's easier for us to follow the ins and outs of Illinois politics because they're ours. And when you're looking across the pond, so to speak, that big river that divides us, and you see the Missouri politics, and I hear people complaining about how their Republican supermajority isn't conservative enough, I'm like, in my mouth. But when you look at St. Louis City, there's a huge correlation to what St. Louis City, what St. Louis County is doing to this area. You don't feel like you're represented. I talked to a dear friend of all of ours earlier today, and they said, we're ready to pack our bags. Even her husband said, I don't want to live here because I don't feel safe. It's a weird kind of difference between the overtaxed burden that we have in the state of Illinois, where our government does not represent us. And then across the state, the river in Missouri here locally in St. Louis City and County, when you look at Kim Gardner and she wins that primary again, and you see that the squad is taking potentially another congressional seat right here in our yard, you got to ask yourself, what the heck is going on? Ryan, what was your kind of reaction to seeing St. Louis go, a large leap to the progressive left?
Well, while you're right, it doesn't necessarily personally affect us deeply. It kind of does because we do work in the city.
Yeah.
And so we have to pay taxes just like everybody else for working in the city of St. Louis. And so Kim Gardner winning that seat, that was obviously a big deal. And she won easily. Lacey Clay losing that seat, that means that I never would have painted him as a moderate, but Cori Bush is even further left. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing the party moving left. And, these things, again, we're Illinois residents, so they don't directly affect everything that we do. But gosh, it's like we're adopted kids in Missouri. And I watch it very closely, and I was rather disappointed to see the action.
And the truth of the matter is, the way that Illinois goes does affect people in St. Louis. You should have, when we talk about Illinois issues, we'll have Illinois policy on here at 2:00 to talk about how these COVID lockdowns are affecting the state financially. I mean, as if it could get any worse. Listen in it too, and we'll tell you how it's going to get worse. The success of the economy over here in the state of Illinois affects you as a Missouri resident, and the effects of a Missouri county, a Missouri city race like Kim Gardner. Listen, I feed my kids off of my ability to work in the city of St. Louis. I need to be able to maintain my job and my profession that is rooted in the city of St. Louis. That's how I raise my children. That is deeply important to me. Katie, you are a resident of the state of Missouri. You went and voted yesterday. Mm-hmm. Kind of your overall reaction to what you experienced in those results. Were you surprised?
I got to tell you that I wasn't surprised by Amendment 2. Which was the expansion of Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
But
I saw Lyda Crewson praising that on Twitter.
Everyone is praising it, that you would expect to be praising it because they're excited it passed. But I have to say, after hearing the results last night, the first thing that popped into my head was Mark Cox and Tim Jones are going to be very, very angry about the results.
Let's bring it back to Disney for a hot second here. You guys seen Inside Out? Have you seen the movie Inside Out?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, have you seen Inside Out?
I don't think so. No.
This is a great movie. It's kind of a heavy movie. Sometimes Disney, I think it all depends on your age and what that's something that I think is great about Disney movies is you can entertain an entire family and everybody will see that movie a bit differently because of your life experience. But it's about like a junior high aged girl who is going from being kind of a kid into that older age, maturity, puberty type of a situation. But the whole point of the movie is that you see how her mind controls her reactions to things, and it creates like a control center for this young girl's brain. And so you have this like dashboard of buttons and switches and everything. And all of those core emotions that you have interact as if they're like entities inside the brain, and it's this control room. And the happiness is, her name is Joy, and there's sadness. Sadness, I think, is one of the best characters in Disney history. And when you meet Sadness at Disney World, which you cannot do right now, I don't know why, but I just laugh the whole time because she looks so sad. And she'll be like, come give me a hug, and you give her a hug, and then she just looks so sad. And you're like, I want to make you happy, but but I can't. You can't.
Your very nature prevents it.
But one of the characters inside this girl's head that's represented in this movie is anger and it's this little red man, and whenever he gets like super angry, he has fire shoots out of his head. That's Tim Jones and Mark Cox today. That's what it feels like. That's when I think about them, Katie, about you talking about that. I just think
because they have, I mean,
their anger
and Sam Page winning, I think it will just be, I mean, I heard a little bit of Mark Cox talking about it today, but Sam Page winning and having that victory, I think Tim Jones's head is going to explode. I think it's going to explode.
10 minutes.
Yes.
We're going to have it right here. Yeah, we need to get that tea kettle brewing thing. That's just, I am sad for St. Louis City, but I'm not surprised because you guys, I am a professionally disappointed voter. Like we can start a club, we can sit 6 feet away from each other and drink whiskey and beer and we can share our battle stories of what it's like to feel like you're banging your head into the wall repeatedly and you get no progress. It's ridiculous. So we're going to break down those election results, specifically the Missouri primary ones. And if Tim wants to bring in some of the other ones, Steve says, what do you think about the Kansas primary? He said that on Facebook. I think we dodged a bullet. Democrats threw a lot of money at the losing candidate. So we'll talk about all of it. And Tim Jones will be here to break it down. I'm to shift a little bit before we go to a break here into where I've been. I use this summer vacation, which is now behind me. For all of you folks who are happy to have me back, that's now behind me. I'll probably take another break at Christmas. But I use this as a way to detach, unplug, and spend as much time with my family, fully dedicating myself to them. And we went to Disney World, and like I have seriously considered not even talking about the fact that I went to Disney World because I feel that, well, there is a lot of judgment that is out there. How, like, did you forget that there was a pandemic going on? I'm going to tell you what. I went to Disney World and I did kind of forget that there was a pandemic going on because, listen, folks, I wore a mask in Florida 95-degree heat and humidity for 11 days and I survived. I feel great. My family is going to pretty much stay to ourselves for a good week. And if we feel any type of symptoms, we will go get tested. There was nothing ever while I was there that made me concerned. Seriously, my 4-year-old's like, got to get some hand sanitizer. And so they have hand sanitizer, little partition things all over the place. You can't walk 30 feet without being able to get hand sanitizer that is provided for them. They are enforcing mask wearing to the extent where it has to be over your mouth, it has to be over your nose, it has to be the kind that is fitted to your face, it has to be the kind, it can't be like a gator style, which is like kind of a neck wrap that goes around that doesn't necessarily have the filter or the thickness that you would need, I guess, to feel great. And here's the other thing for all of you mask shamers out there. This is as much for anybody's safety as it is doing and requiring every single thing of the people who go there to ensure that they can say that they did it. They did it all. They put all of the measures in place. It makes people feel comfortable. And I understand if you want to go into your local grocery store and you want to not wear a mask, I understand that you might feel like you shouldn't have to be made to wear a mask. But I also understand that Disney World is a private company. And if they want me to wear a mask and they're telling me, we can't wait to see you at Disney, you have to wear a mask, but we can't wait to see you come to Disney World, I'm just going to do it because it's their private company. It's not about personal freedoms. It's not about my personal rights because I don't have a right to be at Disney. I'm actually paying them money and they're saying, we will give you this service. You are going to give us that money and so on and so forth. It was an amazing experience. And, flying was not bad at all either. I mean, I went in and I wiped down the seats for myself. My husband wiped them down for the kids. And the flight was maybe 60% full. They are not seating people in the middle seats. We sat in the middle seat because we had 5. So we sat ourselves there. But they're doing the best that they can. And life goes on, folks. And it was my decision and my husband's decision to choose to go on this adventure that we needed, and we felt like humans again for a hot second, for 11 days. And it was amazing. It was such a great experience to go be there and enjoy something that was fun and happy together as a family. So that's where we went. We took all the necessary precautions. I am happy to be back. If you want to know more actually about my vacation, I'm not going to bore the majority of you with that here. But tonight on my podcast page, I have a Disney podcast with my dear friend Erica, who I will add has lost 31 pounds since I'm very excited for her. She and I have this podcast. It's the Pixie Dust Podcast, and you can go on our Facebook page at Pixie Dust Podcast on Facebook and like that there. And we are going to broadcast live our podcast at 7:30 tonight. And Tony Colombo is going to join us because he has a Disney World vacation coming up at the end of, I think, August, maybe early September. And they're still kind of teetering on whether or not they should go. So if you want to know more about that, if that is your thing, go like the Pixie Dust Podcast page. I will break down the actual vacation there instead of here because we have so many other things to talk about, including those Missouri primary results, which we will discuss with Tim Jones in just a second. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break. I am back. I am happy to be here. I would be so grateful to see all of your names back here on the Facebook chat, on the YouTube live chat. You go to Annie Frey on YouTube and we're broadcasting live there. You can put it on your smart TV at home using the YouTube app, and you can go to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and do the same thing there. Follow along. I'm happy to be here. Katie, Ryan, we're all back together again.
Happy to have you, Annie.
This will probably completely break down around 1:45, so you're going to want to at least listen till there and see what happens. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election and at radio.com. Brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling on 97.1 FM Talk.
When we moved into our home here, I think the house was built somewhere around 2000 or whatever. 20 years later, things are starting to look a little bit dated and things are starting to maybe need to be replaced. I don't know if that's the case in your home or if you want to add something to your home, but in any of those cases, Lakeside Renovation and Design is the place to go. So when we, when my husband and I were talking about fixing up our master bath, I called Lakeside and I said, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I just want a ballpark of if we did a whole remodel, what would it cost? If we just replaced the shower that was in there, maybe reconfigured the layout just a little bit, what would that cost? And they were so helpful. And here's the thing that I really like about Lakeside. Their most popular option when people are doing an interior or an exterior home is the 18 months interest-free financing. Make it affordable for you to get that job done and get it done right and have the professionals do it. My husband and I have a happier marriage when the pros come in and take care of the job and leave, and it's perfect. Lakeside Renovation and Design.com.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is looking to buy additional 5 houses in the next few weeks. We can pay cash and close in as little as 5 days. We buy houses in any condition, any location, and any situation throughout the St. Louis metro. Call today, 314-782-7000, or go to our website, www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. That's chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. Just go there, fill out your information, and we'll reach out to you. We buy houses and apartment buildings. Call us today to get an offer. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. Or go online to www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. The process takes just 7 minutes to get a completely free, no-obligation cash offer for your property. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
As your employees are transitioning back to work, you want to provide a safe environment for them to work in. Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning has been servicing buildings and facilities throughout the metro for over 20 years. Jan Pro offers a range of disinfecting services that can eliminate 99.9% of germs that spread common illness and contagions. Has no adverse effects to the environment, staff, or visitors. For a no-obligation quote, contact Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com. That's jan-pro.com. Commercial cleaning for your office or facility. It's Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
How to Cook with Budweiser cookbook out of St. Louis. It's in excellent condition.
Before we bake, can I tell you something funny it makes me think of? At the house, we've had the large type cookbook forever since Nick was a little baby, just for people who have trouble seeing the small type. And just the other day, he goes, "Oh, God, that's a whole lot less offensive than I thought." His whole life, he thought it was for fat people. He thought the large type cookbook was a cookbook for large type people.
Wow.
DGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick in the comfort and safety of your living room. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis metro area will be held live Saturday, August 15th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com. markpatrickseminars.com.
The original and still.
The original and still the best.
The original app for your morning and afternoon commute.
Where don't you want to go in traffic?
Dependable traffic.
We have a major car fire.
Driven by Ambassador Floor Company. With 100% employee installation. Experience more at Ambassador Floor.
She don't care about my car. And she don't care about my money. And that's real good, cause I don't got a lot to spend. But if I did, it wouldn't mean nothing. She likes me for me, not because I look like Tyson Beckford with the charm of Robert Redford oozing out my ears. But what she sees, I'm really behind at the movement that got me here. We are at a turning point in this country as we face down unprecedented crises from COVID-19 to police brutality to out of control climate change. And we've decided how to move forward. Well, tonight.
So there's Cori Bush and her victory speech. And here to break down everything that took place during that Missouri primary yesterday and any highlights other than that he wants to throw in, Tim Jones. Tim, thank you so much.
Another great night for Donald
back.
Trump.
No collusion, no obstruction.
This is Armageddon.
I brought you Outlander.
Brought to you by Arrowhead Building Supply.
Tim, thanks for filling in for me on Monday. I couldn't think of anybody better to have in right before the Missouri primary hit. And now we have results. And are you shocked by what you discovered after the Missouri primary came to its conclusion?
Well, Annie, I can tell you, I'd rather be in Disney World right now.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Cheers to that.
Annie, it's I was listening to your first segment, and last night was shocking in some respect. And let me preface it by saying this: I'm going to give a lot of doom and gloom and despair about the St. Louis County, St. Louis City region, basically all the urban regions in our country, which, strangely enough, maybe coincidentally enough, ironically enough, throw out your adjective there, have been run by Democrats, ruined by Democrats for 50 plus years. So it's interesting that they're starting this radical revolution, which encompasses Antifa anarchy and BLM Marxism and tearing down statues and history and includes defunding the police and destruction, all in the areas that they currently control. But I guess that's what you do. You wreck your own backyard before you wreck everybody else's. But, Annie, after the shock and, just the despair kind of wore off, I'm sad. I'm not really I'm not really angry today. I'm sad. I'm sad for our city, for our region, and for our state, because it seems as if these deep blue urban cores are starting to affect and infect the rest of the country with these radical socialist ideas. And I say they're radical, I say they're socialist because by definition they are. And if you look around the world, if you look back through history, they have failed. I'm not sure why America is choosing to be so flirtatious with this philosophy. All you need to do is watch one thing. There is a great special right now that runs frequently on Fox. You can catch it, I think, on Fox Nation. You can probably catch it at foxnews.com. It's narrated and produced by Brett Baer, who is about as straight line and as objective a journalist as you're going to find these days on any network, on either side of the political spectrum. It is the unauthorized history of socialism. And Brett takes you through that history, dating back to the mid-1800s and the rise of Marxism, all the way through the Bolshevik Revolution of Lenin and Stalin, through the Cultural Revolution of Mao Zedong, through the revolution in Cuba, into Venezuela. And all of these revolutions, they started off where the people were so happy and party in the streets, and we're all going to get together and make this work, and we're going to set up this utopia. And you know what they end up with, Annie? They end up in despair, oppression, depression, bloodshed, violence, and failure. And I hate to be so Pollyannish and so hyperbolic, but they do. That's the truth. And so at the very end, Brett goes, and you know, we're starting to have some of these conversations about this philosophy here in the United States of America. And I'm not sure why we are.
Tim, it's interesting that you're on the topic. I asked this question yesterday before we knew the results of any of these races. I asked Mark Cox if any of these would be a bellwether for either November or even beyond, you know, whether it was Kim Gardner, Sam Page, Amendment 2. And he said none of those will be, but Lacey Clay's race might be. And then lo and behold, that's the one getting the headlines today. What say you? Are any of these really a bellwether for November?
They're a bellwether, Ryan, for where the Democratic Party is going, and it's going to depend on if there are enough voters who want to go to the polls, who are on the constitutional right side of not only history, like I just described, but literally sanity. I mean, look, yesterday was mainly all about Democrat primary results, right? Mark Cox and I and our sister station, Mark Reardon, we and many other voices on the conservative side of the aisle teamed up with a lot of what I would call sane Democrats. You know, there's a big group of them left here in our region. And there are people like Jane Duker and Jeff Rorda, and there's a ton of consultants, and there's a lot of people who are in the grassroots activist movement. They're called sane Democrats, right? What are sane Democrats? Well, they still respect the rule of law and order. They want a bigger government presence. They want a bigger social safety net, but they're not economic lunatics, right? They don't want to completely bankrupt the entire nation forever and ever, amen. So they've got a little bit of fiscal sanity. They're definitely the old-fashioned, old-time law and order Democrats like JFK and Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson and other folks like that. More recently, Bill Clinton, right? Bill Clinton would be, I think, putting together all his personal transgressions, looking at only his philosophy. Bill Clinton would not necessarily be welcome in today's Democratic Party. And even Barack Obama is starting to look like a moderate. So what's going on, Ryan, back to your question, there is a massive, vicious civil war going on in the Democratic Party. And that Lacey Clay race highlighted it. The media can't run from it anymore. Isn't it amazing that an African-American establishment, I guess maybe that's the problem, establishment guy like Lacey Clay, representing one of the most liberal cities in the country, one of the most liberal areas, is too conservative for the new leftward tilt of the radical socialist movement that is sweeping across the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is now becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of Antifa and of BLM. And I'm talking about the BLM Marxists, you know, and you wonder if Black Lives Matter and if COVID lives matter, or if they're only going to matter till November 4th.
We're speaking with Tim Jones, host of the Tim Jones Show, right here on 97.1, 7 to 9 at Sunday evenings. I want to ask you, you're talking about the civil war that exists in the Democratic Party. I've been unplugged for about, almost 2 weeks now, maybe even one of the last days that I was on the air. You know, you get in that like pre-vacation mindset of a little bit of distraction. But I'll tell you this, and for everybody who's listening right now, I saw at least a dozen Trump-based pieces of apparel or insignia while I was in Disney World with people walking around. Trump masks, Trump t-shirts, Trump hats, Trump bags. It wasn't like Donald Trump was present everywhere in the Magic Kingdom, but I saw at least a dozen different people who were outwardly showing their support for President Trump. I saw zero evidence of anything to the alternative, whether it was any of those specific issues that you were mentioning that the Democratic Party is now standing for, or just, a general like Joe t-shirt or something like that. No evidence of that whatsoever. When I tune into the media, I see people like is it the Lincoln Project or whatever, the anti-Trumper, the never-Trumpers who are trying to divide the Republican Party. The media is certainly going to pick up every opportunity they can to suggest that there is division in the Republican Party. So my question to you is, you've just defined what you believe the Democratic Party to be facing, which is some sort of civil war about how progressive they can actually be. Where is the Republican Party right now under Donald Trump? I mean, he's the guy, whether you like him, love him, or are tolerating him, he's the guy. Is there a unification in the Republican Party right now? And is it going to be evident in November?
Yeah, Annie, absolutely. First of all, the Lincoln Project and all the never-Trumpers, I'm sorry to say this. I know this is a family show, but they're a bunch of butthurt K Street consultants, okay? That's all they are, Annie. They're consultants on K Street who have been locked out of access to the swamp via the swamp for the last 3 to 4 years. And I guess maybe their pocketbooks are running a little dry and they need to get back in the circle. These are people, Annie, who don't necessarily care about the philosophy or the mission or God, country, and family. They're all about their next paycheck. They a lot of times, and we have them in Missouri too, and they tried to play in some of these Republican primaries, and they tried to do it in Senator Bill Eigel's primary out in St. Charles. And luckily, he threw a hammer down yesterday, and he won with like almost 75% of the vote over this fake rhino challenger that was put up by this fake rhino consultant. I'm not going to mention his name on the air because I don't want to give him any attention, but he knows who he is. He's like the Joker to my Batman, And these are people, Annie, that they survive based on electioneering. They don't necessarily care about moving the country forward or doing any sort of reforms, whether it's education reform, labor reform, or tax reform. You had fake Republican consultants in this state, Annie, working on the Medicaid expansion project. And apparently some of them are going to get awarded to the tune of $1 million as their bonus for getting it passed. It's disgusting. It's despicable. So on the flip side, recent polling, 95% Republican support for Donald Trump. The Republican Party is the party of Donald Trump. And why? It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because these are people who have decided to put aside the bombastic tweets and some of the character flaws, which we're human. We've all got them. And they're focused on the policy. And the policy is to save America. The policy is to create jobs and a better economy and a better lifestyle and better opportunities, not to have the government do like what it's going to do with Medicaid expansion here in the state of Missouri, where you sit home on your couch all day long, you collect your unemployment checks from the federal government and the state government, and you're excited about your free health care, and you do nothing to move yourself, your family, or your country forward. You become sheeple. You become a pawn in the machine. You become a widget in George Orwell's 1984. I have more faith in the American people than the far left, which is taking over the Democratic Party, as I described. I still think we are a pioneering nation that looks forward to having America be that shining city on the hill that Reagan so beautifully described when he served as our president. And I think that America is going to step up and step forward, because there was another poll I saw last week where 67% of likely voters, they're not telling any pollster or their neighbor who they're voting for because they just don't want to deal with the grief, right? So that's, Andy, I have to have that optimism, because if I don't, then I might as well cash out and move to Cyprus.
Yeah, or Disney World. I'll go with you.
Or Disney World.
So
I can live in the one of the worlds in the Epcot up in the
totally
showcase. Yeah.
Mexico has
Norway.
the best margaritas for sure. Last question before I let you go. I don't have a lot of time left here, but you're talking about the people who are not speaking up to pollsters. So it's hard to understand, even though we see right now Joe Biden's numbers are almost identical as well as Trump's to this point in time in 2016. Do you have a clarion call here to Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters, socialist haters out there? Because the stakes are I don't know that they've ever been higher. Maybe we say that every election. Is there action that you want to challenge the listeners right now to take before November? Because on November 4th, it's too late. What needs to be done right now to ensure that we preserve the freedom and liberty for this country that it was founded on?
Yeah, and it's beyond saying this is the most important election. This election is about whether we're going to continue with this great experiment of representational democracy known as America. This election is not about the Republican or the Democratic Party. This election is about America itself. And I say that because what is the vision and the plan for the other side? And, Annie, people are going to start walking with their feet. My CEO, Travis Brown, wrote a book about this 12 years ago, How Money Walks. And it was all about state tax policies, but it's gone beyond that as well. We've expanded that discussion. You can now look at the city of St. Louis. It's gone from a high of nearly 800,000 or more residents in the 1950s to barely 300,000. And do you think that this advent of unchecked violence of a prosecutor who's owned by George Soros, she just got 116,000. I think he reloaded again right before the election. Hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last few years to not prosecute crime, where nightly there's dangerous car chases and bullets flying through the air. There's a horrible education system. There's no opportunity. The jobs are largely moving out. If you're a business owner, why do you want to maintain a business in the desolate urban wasteland dystopia of St. Louis City? And the county, I'm not sure if it's going to be much better under the tyrannical continued rule of Sam Page. Annie, I had a discussion this morning with my wife, who's generally a much more, some may call her moderate. I just say she's a nicer person. She has more empathy for people. We talked to Annie about getting out of St. Louis County. Jeff County, Annie, is out my back window. I'm like Sarah Palin. I can see Russia from here. Jeff County is literally.
Is Russia an option?
I'm not sure. Probably not, but maybe that's the worst.
There's no Russia in the World Showcase at Epcot. No.
But Annie, I'm out here in the far southwestern hinterlands of St. Louis County. Franklin County and Jefferson County, what I call now the free counties, are literally a mile down the road. I can still be in the Rockwood School District, great school district. That's still a good thing. But I can pay less taxes. I can have more land, and I can be in one of those two counties that are governed by common sense constitutional conservatives who are funding the police and who are keeping their people safe and who are giving them good health advice about this global pandemic, but not crushing their local economies or forcing their mom and pop stores out of business. So, Annie, if the clarion call, as you asked me, is do we want to preserve America, or do we want to have the vision of the far left, which is I don't know what. After they tear all the statues down, defund the police, and burn their inner urban cores, what's the plan? Yeah. What's the program? The only thing that came out of the Chaz Chop Zone in Seattle was a lot of destruction, despair, murder, and mayhem. There was nothing positive that came out of that. It even got to be too much for Mayor Moonbeam out there. She was the one that said, all right, time to dismantle it. So I don't know where we go. Where we need to go is to have last night be a clarion call where not even the sane Democrats in the St. Louis region could save their own party from themselves. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to have to be Republicans now stepping up in November and everybody joining us who want to protect and preserve this great thing we call America.
Tim Jones, you can hear more of this Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going to debrief my Disney World vacation tonight on our Pixie Dust podcast Facebook page live. If you want to tune in and find out about all of my vacation stuff, Tim, because I know you're a fan of the WDW.
Planning a November trip there, Annie. So I'm going to have to definitely tune in and listen to that. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go watch Outlander.
Yeah, I know. I can fit in a carry-on. Just saying. Well, Tim, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for the debriefing. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks, gang.
Talk to you again soon. Tim Jones at Speaker Tim Jones on Twitter, and the Tim Jones Show Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 97.1. All right, quick break. When we come back, Ryan and I are going to tell all of you people stop voting for Democrats if you don't want Democrats to be in office, and if you don't like it, move. That's basically what Ryan and I hear on a regular basis. So we'll just repeat that for the next 15 minutes here in just a minute. Stick around. Also, make sure you go like the Pixie Dust Podcast Facebook page, because like, as I said, if you want to know more about how they did it at Disney World, I will be talking about it tonight, not here on the show, but I want to remind you, we have Dakota Wood coming up at 1:25, and he's going to talk to us about that Beirut explosion. Holy crap, people. That is insane. I've never seen anything like that with my grown my eyes. I've never seen it before. Terrifying. So Dakota Wood is going to break down what we know so far at 1:25, but we'll chat with you when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
To places she ain't never been. If she really wants to go, I think deep down she knows.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating over 50 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Every day, Ameren works to deliver reliable energy throughout the region to on-the-go families, new parents, in-the-know grandparents, busy students, night owls, weekend warriors, and more. But did you know we also have options to help manage and track your energy, like paperless billing, outage notifications, pick a due date, and so much more. So no matter who you are or how you use your energy, there's an option that's right for you. Learn more at ameren.com/options.
Are you looking to support a pro-life cause? Because I always am. When the Vitae Foundation and I sat down to discuss how they are working to advocate for the unborn, they also made it very clear to me that they are working to advocate for the women in those situations as well. And that is, oh man, that hits me right in the feels, right where it counts in the heart, to understand what it's like to be in a situation where you're expecting a child. I've been there. I've been there 3 times. I've also lost a child. I had a miscarriage myself. I know what it's like to be in a room and not know what's going to happen next and have fear. But I don't know what it's like to have to face that decision, that legal choice, whether or not to keep that child. I want every child to be saved. And the way to do that is for us to rally around these women and support them. And Vitae Foundation has made that their mission. Can you join us in helping these women and help save lives? $5 a month can touch the lives of 60 women a year by connecting them with life-affirming local resources where there is help, compassion, and hope. Your $5 a month will save lives, and we need all of that we can get right now. Learn more online at vitaefoundation.org.
Home truly is your place of trust. Protect your investment with a free remote estimate from CertaPro Painters. Show us what you'd like painted from the safety and comfort of your own home. We'll ask some questions and add some expert advice. Then we'll provide a detailed estimate so you know exactly what you're getting and what happens next. It's all quick, safe, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, your local neighborhood CertaPro Painters will do the job right. Start your remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
Are you concerned you won't have enough income in retirement to live comfortably? Or do you wonder how long your money will last? Do you also wonder how all the market volatility will affect your retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you how to protect your retirement savings from market losses and generate more income than most investment options. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you could count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. This book covers everything I teach in my live educational events. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees to and through retirement for 33 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Hi, this is Craig Jensen, trial attorney at Meyer Jensen. I have over 25 years of experience representing men and women who've been injured while working on the river. If you suffered an injury while working as a crew member of a towboat, you may qualify for a recovery under the Jones Act. We are located in Alton, Illinois, and routinely represent clients on both sides of the river. If you or a loved one was injured while working on a barge or towboat and need help, call Meyer Jensen at 618-463-1000 or visit us at our website, meyerjensen.com.
for news, entertainment, and information with perspective, national and local. Keep it here or download the app and stream anytime. 97.1 FM Talk at radio.com.
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about the bounce in my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool. Should I keep it light, stay out of the fight? No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preach on what is
watching
wrong.
a show on Netflix, taking a break from work, and I heard a jet hovering in the sky. And because this has been happening for some time, I opened the window, glass door, and looked outside, and the entire building shook, and I was blown by it. I'm bleeding on my neck. I think it's glass on my neck and my ankle. I wouldn't say I'm seriously injured, but a lot of people around me on the street where I live in, which is called Jamese, a Christian-dominated area, a lot of people are bleeding. There's absolute chaos here.
So that is a report from that massive explosion out of that warehouse in Beirut. And man, that is some terrifying visuals there. We are going to speak at 1:25 with Dakota Wood. He is the Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at Heritage. And, you know, I have a ton of questions. I don't have any answers to provide you, but I just want to let you know that we are going to be discussing that. I shared a story yesterday, Barstool Sports, which is really weird to use this as a source, but they had the facts. And so I'm sharing it with you. Said they had 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate in this warehouse that exploded. Timothy McVeigh had 2 tons of this to set off that explosion in Oklahoma City in, what was it, 1995, I think. 2 tons compared to 2,700 plus tons in Beirut. What is going on here? I see a lot of people suggesting certain things that had happened. The president of the United States said yesterday it sure looked like a bomb. Well, it did. There was a mushroom cloud and it leveled a city, a major U.S. city. It was terrifying stuff. So we're going to talk to Dakota Wood about that at 1:25. We got just a couple minutes here before we have to run again real quick. But I just want to ask you guys, like, what was it like to have a week? This, I think, the longest that I've ever taken off at one time. How was it? What was the experience like? Ryan, you were in your studio still and you know, coordinating with different hosts. Ryan Recker, who filled in for the first week when I was gone, messaged me and just was showering you guys with praise about how great it was to work with you guys. So it seemed like he was happy to be here. Well, everything go okay? Everything good?
Yeah, you know, we had a good time with Recker. I think he was here the most, so you know, we got to know him the best. And you know what's weird, when you're gone and we have a guest host, the first day Ryan Recker, we couldn't figure out how to get him onto the webcam, and the same thing happened yesterday with Mike Ferguson. So we get used to seeing each other, even if it's through digital means. And when that goes away, you're really just sort of talking blindly and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like right now,
it is weird.
If you're listening in the car right now, or if you've got us on in your home or at your desk, we really appreciate that. You can stream us at radio.com. The whole station is available at radio.com. Go download the app or go online to the website and favorite 97.1 FM Talk. But it is important, as Ryan has cystic fibrosis, is that right?
You got it. Yep.
Welcome back, Annie. I'm about to give you a disease that
you forgot my disease while you were in Walt Disney World.
How dare you? It's the worst thing I've done so far.
Just leave it there. Just leave it there.
Well, it's CF, yes. So you are immunocompromised, and it's important that we protect you. So we are still broadcasting from various locations, but we use line of sight through the webcam that you can watch on our Facebook page or on the Annie Frey YouTube page. This is as much for us to be able to see each other and actually talk to each other because we are in different locations. I could see how that would be like just kind of guessing, tap dancing a little bit.
Well, the other thing,
a really fast revolving door that you're trying to jump into and not face plan into the side.
Exactly. And the other thing that's weird is that we get used to seeing each other, but when the guest hosts come in, they don't normally use the webcams. They're freaked out when we have them on.
Yeah,
so it's a
Ryan
double
Recker
whammy
was
either way.
enamored with it. He
Yes.
I understand.
He's like, what is this thing?
But I imagine this whole thing affects Katie probably more than anybody because you guys have your rhythm down a little bit more, with pre-show and post-show stuff that affects. So
Don on Facebook says, Annie, they were partying all week when you were gone. Don't let them fool you.
Oh, it was lit.
If that's what has to happen so I can take a vacation, you do you, folks.
It was you're right, Ryan. And I told Annie this already because Annie and I were still in communication. Annie and I still talked, not every day, not as frequently as we usually
When I was
did,
in
but we still
line for
talked.
something,
Yeah.
I would
text your
check
show
in.
ideas.
Because if you take the show out of this, Annie and I are still friends in real life. We've been friends for a long time. But it's a different rhythm. It's a totally different rhythm. And whenever you're used to something and doing it every single day, it becomes second nature to you. And then whenever someone takes off for a week or a week and a half, rightly deserved, rightly so.
Just to
qualify, you deserve it.
Did she deserve it or not, Katie?
Katie, say how you really feel.
You deserve it. You do.
She's gone
We
for
all
a
work
week
our
or
butts off.
maybe a week and a half, maybe even 2
You
weeks.
deserve
We
it.
don't remember.
We don't know. But then you have to adjust. And luckily enough, Mike and Ryan and Tim Jones, they make it really, really easy.
Yeah, they're all pros.
But man, it's just a different type of thing. And then you have to get your mind in a different type of way because it's, like I said, second nature for us three to come in here and do this every single day with each other.
Yeah, it is. I haven't fallen off the bike yet, but
no,
I've got like the training wheels on. But when you start with training wheels and you try to ride so the training wheels don't actually touch the ground, you're like, I could do this. I could totally do this. But if it falls a little bit to the side, the training wheels are there to save you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have training wheels on right now. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you got to be ready to pick this thing up and make something good of it.
That's fine. I'll do my best, even though they just re-rocked the road.
Oh.
It makes it hard to ride on training wheels when they do that,
That's the kind of rock you got to pick out of your knee when you fall.
That's right.
All right, let's take a quick break. Dakota Wood is going to talk to us at 1:25 about the explosion in Beirut and what the aftermath, the fallout, literally and figuratively is for that explosion. And we can talk a little bit more about the results of this Missouri primary in just a second. Come onto the Facebook page and comment. What story are you following? Help me get back into the rhythm of things. What do you want to hear about? You can chat with us on our Facebook Live or on the YouTube Live. Just go to Annie Frey on YouTube and we'll be there to chat with you. We'll be back in just a minute.
Watch me standing in line. You're only serving.
I feel like I got a great value. I am ecstatic about the diamond that I selected.
Meet Josh Pearl, another raving fan of Diamonds Direct.
I came in with an expectation of what I wanted to spend, and I walked out with a diamond that I was really pleased with.
Before coming to Diamonds Direct, Josh did a ton of online research trying to educate himself. But what he found out was that looking at grading specs on paper means nothing until you see multiple diamonds side by side.
On paper, when they say it's an excellent cut or a good cut, that's great. I don't know what that looks like. How does that translate into what the diamond actually looks like?
Diamonds Direct. Best education, best selection, best warranties, best value, and best of all, the best experience.
People really appreciate places that add a value of customer service to the people that walk into them. And I think that's exactly what Diamonds Direct does. They were glad that they helped me find a ring that I was ecstatic about.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
I saw online a huge company that we've all heard of got hacked. They had a ransomware attack, and it turns out that they just recently released that they did pay it. It's a terrible situation, and it makes you nervous as a customer of places to be sure that if you're doing business with somebody, that your information is protected. But oh my gosh, if you have a business, if you are somebody who has proprietary information, who is protecting the information of your clients or your customers, you need Forensic IT. They're an expert IT company that serves the St. Louis area with offices in Glen Carbon, Illinois, and Cape Girardeau, and they're available to travel anywhere in the greater St. Louis area. Forensic IT uses a root cause analysis method, which is a data-driven approach to technical problem solving, and it will remove the guesswork you'll typically find among many other organizations who do IT. Don't let system crashes, viruses, or frozen applications trouble you anymore. Reach out to my friends at Forensic IT. We're so grateful that they've partnered with us here on the Annie Frey Show, and I know that they will be a helpful solution to you. 314-677-3950, forensicit.com.
I'm listening daily, here to help end the stigma of talking about mental health. During these challenging times, we are here to listen and to help our communities listen to each other. Here's Brad Schultz of Cage the Elephant on the importance of talking about your feelings.
What I found very helpful in this whole time is I'll call some of my friends that I know are up late at night because I am a night owl, and having some of the most deep and intimate conversations that I've ever had with some of my friends, for me at least, when the anxiety builds up and that sort of thing, is when, you get almost embarrassed as if you don't think people are feeling that same kind of thing. Emotional pain is something that's, I think people sometimes, myself, are even more guarded about. It's hard to talk about things that are your innermost thoughts and the things that scare you the most.
Let's end
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The president is taking aim at some mail-in voting. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Trump today repeating his claims that mail-in voting could lead to fraud.
President Trump on Fox and Friends explaining why he's against mail-in voting for the general election in November.
You don't know what the answer is going to be till after maybe 7 days. But it's not going to be 7 days. It's going to be months or years.
If there's no declared winner by January 20th of next year, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi would serve as acting president. The president also telling Fox News that he's comfortable with Florida permitting mail-in voting because, in his words, they've done a great job and they've had tremendous success with it.
Fox's John Decker in Washington. The president says he may deliver his Republican convention speech from the White House as the GOP convention is scaled back to cope with the pandemic. Critics say the president should not use such public property for partisan political purposes. The president telling Fox News today the White House meets security and cost advantages for the speech. President Trump today telling Fox News that if Congress doesn't act soon on a new coronavirus relief bill, he may use his executive powers to defer payroll taxes.
Well, I may do it myself. We're negotiating right now. I have the right to suspend it, and I may do it myself. I have the absolute right to suspend the payroll.
Negotiations continue on Capitol Hill between Democrats, Republicans, and White House officials over the latest economic relief package. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says he's hopeful a vote could come next week. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says quarantine checkpoints will be put in place at key entry points to ensure travelers from 35 states comply with a mandatory 14-day quarantine. De Blasio says law enforcement officers will be posted at major bridge and tunnel crossings in New York City starting today. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of four is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, it just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial pound 250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
Dell supports America's entrepreneurs during Small Business Month with all you need to office anywhere. Save up to 45% on computers and servers with Intel Core processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus, save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, nice temperatures, nice humidity levels, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 70s this evening, 60 for the overnight low. Great night for sleeping in the summertime. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny skies, 82. Friday, partly sunny. It's a little warmer. It's a little more humid. Just a slight chance of a late-day thunderstorm, 85 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard that right. In just 5 payments, you could set up a six-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. I'm best-selling author Brett Kitchen with Wealth Beyond Wall Street. And right now, there's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. But most Americans are shocked to find out they would need to save over $2.5 million to have a $100,000 income in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary new 5-payment retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they will have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 years old and want to build a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call 800-704-8282 now to see if you qualify. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 6-figure retirement acceleration guide and video. Call 800-704-8282. That's 1-800-704-8282. 1-800-704-8282.
Talked to a friend the other day who's getting ready to put his house on the market, and he had hired some painters to come over and paint the trim and do some other things, and he was having to get some of his siding replaced. And he looked at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, you had that rhino shield put on a few years ago, didn't you?" And I just smiled at him because I did. And I had it put on 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about touching up anything because it looks as good today as it did the day they put it on. I couldn't be happier with this product. It's an exterior ceramic coating is what they call it. It looks beautiful like any paint job you might get. It just lasts for 25 years. It's fantastic. Call Darren. Let him come over and give you an estimate on this great product. He's honoring right now his 2019 pricing. So take advantage of that while you can. Get on the schedule, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
So I just got back from vacation, as you know, and I was thinking about, my future and what's going to happen someday when I retire. And that is a long way away from me. It's probably almost half of my life. I'm 36, which means I probably have another 30 years to go. So it's a long ways away from me. If you're somebody who's nearing retirement, have you worked your tail off to save every penny that you could to make sure that you can have that retirement that you enjoy, that provides you those vacations that you want to, the travel that you want to go on, and the peace of mind that you want to have? That's why you need Thomas Helbig. That's why you need the Retirement Advisory Group. More online at retirementkey.com. But right now, if you call 314-993-9494, you can schedule a no cost, no obligation retirement review with Thomas Helbig. He has helped so many Annie Frey Show listeners. Why haven't you called yet? If you're nearing retirement, he's your guy. You will not, the only thing you'll regret is that you didn't do it sooner. 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
Critical thinking for critical times. The free exchange of ideas. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Download the radio.com app and stream the station wherever you go. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I believe there's an also large group of people that are very uncomfortable with a man who seems to be mentally compromised winning the election and doing so by hiding.
So until the end, where he says, Joe Rogan there says by hiding, I guess both sides are like, yeah, see, they don't want a mentally compromised person in the White House. And I think that is something that both sides are arguing, that the other person in the race is mentally compromised. I certainly think that Donald Trump is. I think Donald Trump is a brilliant man. I don't think that you can be as successful, even if we were to get his tax returns and find out that he wasn't as wealthy or as successful, or maybe he had some bigger losses than we were made aware of. He has certainly had them. He's certainly had a lot of wins. And oh my gosh, he just ask the man. He's run for office one time and he's the president of the United States. There is brilliance behind that. I know people in my real professional life that I've worked with over my 15 years of being in radio that are really good at certain things and really bad at others, but the things that they're really good at, that's what you know. You don't know the rest of, and it's probably my job to make sure that that's the way I come off to you as well. You know, all the things that I'm good at, and I keep secret all the things I'm bad at. So when you hear Joe Rogan talking about how Americans are uncomfortable having a mentally compromised person in the White House who's in hiding, I gotta say, I see no excitement for Joe Biden. I'm sure you don't either. It doesn't matter how excited people are. People are going to be motivated to vote in November based on how they feel about Donald Trump. And do not underestimate people's hatred for Donald Trump as a motivation to go cast a vote against Donald Trump. If that happens to be for Joe Biden, then it happens to be for Joe Biden. But Joe Biden, he's confident in
Have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test?
Well,
come on, man.
Come
That's
on,
like
man.
saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not.
What?
What do you think, huh?
Huh?
Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump?
He's like,
who brags about his tests and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Wait.
Did you watch that?
wait,
Look,
wait,
come
wait.
on.
Pause. First of all, I've been gone for 11 days. So if that's relevant, I don't. Okay.
No.
Is that
No.
relevant?
That
No.
is not.
Do you remember, Katie? I sent this to you the night before I left when Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo were making fun of Donald Trump talking about the cognitive test.
Yes.
And I don't remember which was which, but Don Lemon was like, I mean, obviously there's a giraffe, a hippo, and an elephant. And Chris Cuomo's like, that's a rhinoceros.
In the middle. We played it. Chris Como was like, what?
And Don Lemon was like, ah, crap. But he went with it. So you got Don Lemon making fun of Donald Trump for not being able to, or being so proud of his cognitive test and being like, and Don Lemon's like, well, anybody can do this. Look, it's obviously a hippo. And then Chris Cuomo's like, that's a rhino. So while Joe Biden is talking about how obviously, like, I can go back to this, how obvious it is. What did he say? An elephant and a giraffe or whatever. I mean, like, these people are arguing about the dumbest things, and you and I all know how stupid, how absolutely moronic, or to use a word that I learned from a game at Cracker Barrel, ignoramus. Isn't that what you are if you can't do the
Yep.
triangle golf tee thing?
Issue
Oh my
for
gosh.
voters.
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion,
what?
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I don't know what
Did
the
you
heck
watch
you're
that?
talking
Look,
about.
come on, man.
Come
I
on,
know
man.
you're trying to goad me, but I mean,
No,
I'm
goat?
so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president and
Sit or stand. Is it necessary? I mean, like, the only reason why he corrected himself that way is because people have joked that since he's so old, it's because he acts old, people. Donald Trump acts young for his age. Joe Biden acts old. He says to sit with the president, and then he corrects himself to say stand with the president, just so that people can know that he's capable of standing, physically standing, not
can
like
do it.
figuratively speaking, that he could stand on his two legs.
debates. There's going to be plenty of time.
Ugh. It's unbelievable. This thing stopped in the middle of it, but I'll replay it here. I just can't believe that we are in a position right now where we're fighting over the cognitive ability. We're not talking about whether or not the leader of the free world is going to be able to navigate a situation in Beirut, which we're going to talk with Dakota Wood here in about 10 minutes about what in the world happened in Beirut with that explosion yesterday. We're not talking about how a president is going to go in to that circumstance and make sure that they are cognitively able to take on the global scale of issues that we're dealing with here. We're talking about how we are going to differentiate between lions and elephants.
And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Oh,
Oh man.
way to end the interview, brother.
Joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
When you watch him do this, if you've actually seen the video, I've had to do this, so I can relate to this. But he when he's stumbling over his words, he has to put his head down and he closes his eyes real tight to focus so he can get the words out. This is a common occurrence with Joe Biden. He fumbles over words. He says things that he mixes things up, and we're supposed to be going along with Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon right now about how ridiculous it is that President Trump is bragging about his cognitive test. We're not even talking about the actual cognitive ability of Joe Biden because it doesn't matter. Joe Biden doesn't matter. He is a placeholder for the anything but Donald Trump movement in this country. And do not underestimate when you see, like in Florida, I saw Trump stuff at Disney World. I saw a dozen people plus who were advocating for the president with their t-shirts or their hats or whatever they were. I saw nothing for Joe Biden, but that doesn't mean that there aren't as many people there. Like, they just don't have the anti-Trump shirts to wear. They will still show up to vote against this president. The question that we have is how many people will show up to support me? As we heard from Tim Jones earlier, 95% approval rating with the Republican Party. And this from Rasmussen. And I will go on record saying I hate polls. I think they're stupid, but I'll tell you this one just because I came across it. The Rasmussen Report's daily presidential tracking poll for Wednesday shows that 48% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Trump's job performance, 50% disapprove. The latest figures include 36% who strongly approve of the job Trump is doing and 43% who strongly disapprove. So I don't know. I feel like 48% of likely voters approving of Trump is probably the high end of his very predictable range, which existed before he was even actually the president.
Yeah, and apparently that Rasmussen poll at this point in Obama's second or run for a second term is that Trump is actually higher than Obama was at that moment. And Rasmussen traditionally is fairly accurate, at least more so than the ones that we commonly quote, like NBC and CNBC and things like that.
Yeah, here's Lawrence Jones trying to get people to talk about Joe Biden's
What would you
actual
say is Joe
accomplishment.
Biden's signature accomplishment?
President Obama's right-hand man.
That's enough for you.
That's plenty.
What is one accomplishment for Joe Biden? He's been in politics for 47 years.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't
You don't know what?
He's a nice man. He smiles a lot.
Oh.
And I don't see any kind of strength.
There we go.
Any kind of inner strength in him to lead a nation that's an absolute mess right now.
You're a Democrat.
I'm a Democrat.
Biden is your person. He's been in office for like 47 years. What would you say is his number one accomplishment?
Again, the people come together.
He brings people together?
Yeah, better than, of course, than Donald Trump.
Biden is the guy.
It's unfortunate that that's all they have now.
Biden is a guy. That was what Lauren said. Biden
smilier.
is a guy.
I think Donald Trump smiles a lot. It's just because he feels like he's winning, and that makes other people feel sad inside.
I'll tell you what, in my town, 24,000 people, I've seen a total of one Biden sign, and it may be gone now. I don't even know if they still have it up.
Did you steal it again?
I drove my car through their yard and I hit it.
Told your kid, your 5-year-old, get the sign! run!
Lean out real quick, buddy. Lean out the door. We're going to open the sliding door.
This is the 8th time I've done this. I'm a pro.
He's a pro at it now. If I see a sign I don't like, it's coming down.
Take it down.
But I've seen the same exact number of Biden signs as I have seen signs that say anybody but Trump 2020. So there's just no enthusiasm for the guy. Everybody's just voting against Trump.
Yeah. And I don't want people to think that this is a shoo-in. I don't want people to think that Donald Trump is like, when we talk about fundraising and where is this money when Joe Biden raises money or when Donald Trump raises money? Where is this money going? And who is being affected by the money that is being spent on Donald Trump? Who is the person in the United States of America who's like unsure about Donald Trump?
Right.
And are we spending billions of dollars to get that vote? I mean, to me, there's three contingencies: pro-Trump, anti-Trump, and the people who cannot stomach the Cori Bush direction of the Democratic Party, the squad's influence, Tlaib winning once again. The direction with which the Democratic Party is heading. Joe Biden's platform in many cases is more progressive than Bernie Sanders would have been. Bernie Sanders started super far to the left in order to get into the mainstream version of politics that happens in the actual general election. You would think that Bernie Sanders would have come in an existence that was super far to the left. And what he would have had to do is moderate his opinions on things, not necessarily, not sell out on some of his policies, but he'd have to say, this is where I want to be, but this is what I'm going to have to do to get as close to it as I possibly can. Joe Biden came in as a moderate. Jill Biden said yesterday on Fox News with Dana Perino, she said, Joe is a moderate. And I thought, I don't know that you're supposed to be saying that out loud, because I don't think right now that the direction that the Joe Biden campaign is heading in is one that wants to be seen or vocalized as being moderate, because they need Tlaib, they need Ilhan Omar, they need Ocasio-Cortez, they need Cori Bush. This is the squad. St. Louis, guess what? You are now a part of the squad. How does that feel? I'm from Illinois and I don't even know what to do with that.
And I mean, and this is the whole reason why he said, I'm putting out these guidelines for my VP, right? Is so that he can get that he can still appease the squad. He can still appease Bernie Sanders and say, I am really progressive. Look, I have this list and I'm going to check off all of this list and make sure that you guys are happy with who I pick as my VP.
Do not underestimate going into November who this election is between. It is between Donald Trump and the media. That is where this election will be decided, because Donald Trump, if he loses, it will be because of the way the media has portrayed him. 100%. I qualify that with nothing. This media that runs our country is so incredibly in the tank for the Democratic policy, the Democratic way of doing things, the establishment way of doing things. They are against you. And I think that that's something that President Trump has said in the past, but the mainstream media in this country has presented itself at times with various entities as an enemy of what is the best for the people. They want to tell you how to think. They want to tell you what to think. They want to tell you how to do what you're going to do, how to vote. And they are relying on you to be lazy enough to just go with it. And I don't think that the American people are that way. I think the American people can look around. I've got a piece of paper here that I'd like to talk about later about Minneapolis, telling you how that you're going to just give in to these people who are going to burgle you on the street. I've been carjacked in St. Louis. I've had a gun pointed at me in traffic on a bridge in St. Louis. I know what it's like to be threatened. And if you're telling me that the solution, if St. Louis were to come out and say, yeah, you're just going to need to give them what it is they're asking for, forget it. I'm not giving you any more of what I have. I'm not coming to your city anymore. If Minneapolis is going to go down this route, everybody needs to understand that the Democratic policies is what has gotten them there. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Dakota Wood is going to join us. He is the Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at the Heritage Foundation. What is going on in Beirut? If you haven't seen that video yet, maybe we'll add it. We'll embed it in the blog post when we get done talking with Dakota so you can see it. Oh my gosh, this is stunning, scary stuff. And Dakota is going to tell us what we know and what we need to find out when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It feels good. Hold me, baby. I want to love you like I love you.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
So kind. I want to tell the world that you're mine.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Everybody sure is fun. Oh, baby. Drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
Take a moment and rate your lifestyle on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a life that's nothing like the life you were promised after getting good grades, a college degree, and a good job in corporate America. 10 is the life of your dreams. If you answered anything less than a 10, tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del's self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Flooring can really revive a space. If you are looking to remodel a portion of your home or maybe finish it for the first time, picking the right flooring for your circumstance, for your aesthetic, for your lifestyle is key. That's why you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. And Michael is so confident in what he has to offer, as he should be, at Michael's Flooring Outlet, that he doesn't mind if you go check out some other places first, because he knows that he has the best quality and the best value and the best customer service. So if you make the stop at a Michael's Flooring Outlet location before you make a purchase, he's confident he's going to win your business. He is located at 3 different brick and mortar places: St. Charles County, in West County, also in Darden Prairie. But you can go online right now and kind of get a precursor to what you're going to get to touch, feel, and walk on in the store at michaelsflooringoutlet.com. He also has recently purchased a huge truckload of waterproof flooring to make sure he can deliver the best possible value for you. Also, he has that Mohawk Smart Strand Forever Clean Aero Redwood Plus flooring that you are looking for. Check it all out. It's all there online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Curtis and the whole staff at Complete Auto Body and Repair want to thank everyone for using them for their services. They are the leaders in the industry and always strive to be the best, so they now offer no-contact touchless auto repair. That means when you drop your keys off, they will sanitize your keys and fob. Technicians will sanitize before and after service. In addition, all repair authorizations will be done digitally after service. Your safety is the utmost importance to them as they sanitize their shops several times a day. They will even give you complimentary pickup and delivery via their towing partner, A2B Towing, and $150 off all hail repairs. To put it simply, they offer the complete experience. There are a wide variety of companies that can take care of your car and claim to go the extra mile, but how many of them follow through after you hand them your keys? This is where they show you Complete's mission. They are a family and will serve you as if you were one of their own. With 5 convenient locations, others can't compete with Complete. CompleteAV.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Most of us have spent a lot of time at the house over the last several months. Maybe you've been thinking, it's time for a change. It's time for a new home. Well, you're not the only one. We are pre-approving record numbers of borrowers all searching for that perfect house. If you're ready for a change, the first step is getting pre-approved. We'll get you into your new home in just a few short weeks. Get pre-approved today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Someday, 2020 will be history. Until then, keep it here for the latest in what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk. Information with perspective.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad to be back in the chair again. And if you are Not if you've been looking for the Facebook Live and you haven't seen it for the last couple days, it is back up and running. So go join us on Facebook, Annie Frey Show on Facebook, also on our YouTube channel, Annie Frey on YouTube. You can watch us there on your YouTube app. You can watch us on your YouTube app on your smart TV, and you can stream us live at radio.com. This is a sound here from that's that explosion that took place in Beirut. A port in Beirut yesterday. If you haven't seen this video, it is jarring to watch this explosion. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen something exactly like that happen. And taking that in yesterday was really kind of scary. We heard the president say in his press conference yesterday that it appeared to be like a bomb, and he said that they were paying a lot of attention to it. I have tons of questions about what we do know and a lot of questions about what we still need to find out. And that's why we welcome Dakota Wood, the Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at Heritage Foundation. You can learn more at heritage.org to the show today. Dakota, thank you so much for the time. We are grateful for it.
Absolutely great to be with you. I wish it was a more pleasant topic.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. In I've seen videos of explosions that have occurred, on YouTube or in documentaries or whatever. But in real time, to watch the aftermath of that is very frightening. We've heard that there was almost 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate that was unsupervised sitting in this warehouse. Is that still the line that we are getting of what took place? What do we know?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything different from Lebanese government or officials in Beirut. It appears to have come off of a freighter in 2014. It was a Russian freighter that was moving from probably Georgia to another country, was sidelined, went into the port without authorization. The officials essentially confiscated the freighter, moved the cargo. The company that owned the freighter and the cargo basically just wrote it off. And so this stuff presumably or reportedly has been sitting in this warehouse since 2014. And every year, the port official responsible for that would send a letter to the local government saying this is a hazardous situation, we need to do something about it. Really nothing was done. There's probably some welding going on in a warehouse a few buildings down. Something happened, started a fire, the fire spread, and it made its way to fireworks storage and then ultimately to this massive quantity of ammonium nitrate, and hence the explosion.
Dakota, I was going to ask you about that. You just mentioned the fireworks plant there. Did that was the initial report, was that a fireworks plant had caught fire and this was caused by that, which obviously it's much bigger than that. But did that have to do with the accident that they're saying that that it was a fireworks plant?
Well, it was a plant, it was a storage facility from when you watch the videos, you can see all of these little explosions going on in all that smoke that was coming up. So there was an initial fire, set of explosions. You watch it and you see these starbursts and all these bright flashing lights. Those are the fireworks going off. And then as that heat built, it contacted the warehouse where these 2 tons of ammonium nitrate were stored haphazardly, just bags that had been loosely packed and had been in this facility, and the detonation was catastrophic. 120 plus dead, 4,000 or more wounded, injured in some way. Most of that's shock and flying glass. And if you've seen overhead facilities and surrounding buildings, I mean, it's just devastation.
Dakota Wood joins us now as a Senior Research Fellow for Defense Programs at the Heritage Foundation. I understand that there's suggestions that that's what it might have been. Have they ruled out that this was something more nefarious, a potential attack of any kind? Has that possibility been ruled out at this point in time?
It has not been ruled out, and there have been reports over the years of Hezbollah, a terrorist organization that controls half of Lebanon, the southern half, and has a huge presence in Beirut, that they have used these storage facilities as cover for storing ammunition, weapons, explosive, those sorts of things. So it's long time reporting. We can't dismiss it because it hasn't been formally ruled out. It could also be that there was some kind of an intentional explosive. But why go after a secondary building, storing fireworks, instead of just going right to the ammonium nitrate? So none of that has been ruled out. It still is possibilities, but so far, reporting from the government is that it's this fertilizer, or at least the basis for the fertilizer that caught fire and exploded.
Dakota, what would a possible motivation be? I'm assuming people are talking about this if it was a planned attack. I know Lebanon is a very divided nation culturally and religiously.
Yeah, it is. They've got a representative form of government. So based on the population of the country, religious identity, you get that much representation in their governmental system. But hugely divided. And it wasn't that many years ago that Hezbollah and Israel had a big war and a series of clashes there on the Lebanon-Israeli border. So it's been riven with factional fighting. Certainly we had forces there in the barracks that housed U.S. Marines and some others, resulting in the death of 241 Marines. So it's a region that's just ripe with violence. So you can't discount these other things. But the evidence so far indicates it was just a tragic explosion. And the detonation, the reverberations of that were felt as far as the island of Cyprus, of how big this thing was.
Yeah, it was a shock to see. I mean, I'm surprised that the death toll is only 120 at this point. I'd assume that will grow over the course of time. So just to clarify, then, evidence right now does not specify that there was any intentional nature to this attack, but it has not been ruled out.
That's correct. Yeah, the evidence strongly suggests just a bad event. Negligence, not taking care of things over time, but the other possibility hasn't been exclusively ruled out.
Well, Dakota, we appreciate your insight on this issue, and as we continue to watch the fallout from what took place in Beirut, we will be in touch with you and encourage people to check out heritage.org for more information as well.
Yeah, please, thank you, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Dakota. Thank you so much. Heritage.org for more information on this issue. Sorry about the connection there a little bit. It's a little bit broken up. I mean, I have to say, when they first came out and the number was like 50 people, like that thing, oh my gosh, the visual of it seems as though it would have, it was a densely, I don't know about populated, but they're definitely large buildings, a very developed city right there that I would think, how could that possibly not have been more catastrophic? So, and I have heard a lot of people reporting that they will be having to go through a lot of the destruction and the visuals, the aftermath visuals a day later when you can see the footprint of this thing. Ugh. And
yeah,
it's almost scarier that it was an accident.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, my God,
how is that possible?
How is the negligence possible to make that happen?
Yeah, crazy.
It's amazing how much video we have of that too, because it's one of those moments that's not somebody happened to be taping it and caught this explosion. There was already fire coming from the spot, so there's just thousands of people.
It was a spectacle before the thing exploded in the way that has made the global news circuit from a lot of viewpoints. So
yeah, exactly. So there's just so many, when this hit, I mean, it was everywhere. And it's like you said, Annie, we've seen the black and white footage of a nuclear bomb for our whole lives. We've all seen that, but I've never seen an explosion this big modern day. And it's shocking to watch.
All right, let's take a quick break. If you'd like to join the show, I'd love to hear what you have to say about the Missouri primary elections. We talked a little bit with Tim Jones in the first hour. He broke down, he said that he was going to start with, what did he say? He was going to start with a lot of doom and gloom. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, but at the end, I thought he was going to give some positive news. He said, I'm just sad. So that was the Tim Jones reaction to the Missouri primary yesterday. I'm curious about your thoughts on the direction of the city of St. Louis County. That Lacey Clay loss to Cori Bush is very, very indicative of the direction of the Democratic Party as a whole, nationally speaking. And, I got to say, as an Illinois resident, I can definitely relate with what it feels like to look at your representation and go, I just don't identify with any of this. And you go and you show up and you try to do everything you can to make a change. and sometimes it's just exhausting. So if you're feeling like that today as a Missouri voter, I'd love to hear from you. 314-241-9797. Hey, I remembered that number. I didn't even have that written down. 314-241-9797. I missed you. Call me. Let's talk. We'll be back in just a minute.
Try twice as hard in a math is like wood. Here they come again to jack my style. That's alright.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Water in my bed tonight stops my bones from wondering why. Yeah.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com.
From early mornings to late nights, your neighbors are busy creating a better tomorrow. And at Ameren, Illinois, we are accelerating progress. From new natural gas lines in Godfrey to smart technology in Collinsville. Learn more at amerenillinois.com/metroeast. Ameren, Illinois, energy at work.
Have you called Stewie yet? Stewie of Stewart's American Mortgage. He's the guy who has the bagel loan, and I'll tell you what, the bagel loan is a roaring success right now, and I want you to be a part of it. Here's Stewie's personal cell phone number, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. These interest rates are at historic lows. I'm hearing stories from Stewie himself. He's calling to tell me when one of you calls him and it is particularly exciting, Stewie calls to tell me about your situation. He doesn't give me your name, but he says, I had another Annie Frey show listener who had a rate close on a 30-year mortgage ridiculously low. And then I'm always like, well, can I do that too? Because I want to get the very best. That's why I go with Stewie. 314-324-4440. If your interest rate is currently in the 4s and you owe more than $250,000, stop wasting money and call Stewie now. 314-324-4440. NMLS number 226715.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Stop smoking or lose weight now. Live online interactive seminars with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick for the greater St. Louis metro area, Saturday, August 15th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase.
Camping season is back, and Apache Village RV Center has your new camper waiting. We have a ton of used RVs rolling in that are in great condition and priced to sell. Go to ApacheVillageRV.com and find the perfect camper for your family today. New travel trailers at low monthly rates from top brands like Keystone, Jayco, and Fleetwood. Apache Village is 3rd generation family owned, and we want to help you create lasting memories for your family. Visit us on Dunn Road in Hazelwood and online at ApacheVillageRV.com. Go one better. Go Apache Village.
The Dave Glover Show.
Sue walked in and saw me wearing the lovely shirt she bought for me from Barcelona. Wow, that shirt looks so great on you. I'm like, thanks, I love it. And Rach goes, it's all stained up.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I want to marry you.
Nelson, welcome to the program. I've got an obvious question for you. If you were still playing in the major leagues, would you take the field right now?
I think absolutely. As long as I didn't have anyone with any pre-existing conditions in my family, or I wasn't going to be around them for quite some time, I trained my whole life to be a professional baseball player, and having the opportunity to play the sport and actually be out there with my teammates, that was something I signed up for.
So this is an interview that was with Stuart Varney here, and we've 13 people on the St. Louis Cardinals organization, 6 players. I'm trying to get my numbers right. Yachty, of course, is one of them. The St. Louis Cardinals are a national story right now. Initially, it was the Florida Marlins who were kind of the entry into, whoa, what is going on here? There's coronavirus taking over team. They were sitting out games and postponing games, and now the St. Louis Cardinals have become the next story here. And I guess the question is, and I don't, like I said, just got back from vacation, so I'm regrouping, and baseball started the day before I left for vacation, so I haven't sat and watched games. The question that a lot of people have is, should they be playing? When I was in Disney World for the last 11 days, the NBA was in their bubble at Disney World, and the hotel that was right connected to mine was closed to the public because it had 5 NBA teams in it. And they were centralized in this bubble, so to speak, in Florida. That means that they all play at I guess it's the ESPN, I don't remember what it's called. They have a special dedicated sports area of Disney World, and that's where they're all playing there. So they're not interacting, they're not traveling. The NHL is doing something similar. MLB, not so much. They're getting on airplanes, they're going through airports, they're traveling, they're playing different teams. There's, visitors go into a visitor's clubhouse that was just vacated by a different team previously. I'm sure they're taking all of the necessary precautions, yet the virus continues to spread. One thing that I will say about this is, did anybody think that this wasn't going to happen? Did anybody think that you were going to reboot society and anything that looks normal to what we understand as normal? And I still say that the normal that we had, we will have again. We'll just look a little bit. It'll be maybe distant from the time we had to surrender what we know is normal, but we will have it back again. Either the virus is as contagious and potentially dangerous as they said it is, and when we go back to interacting with one another, it's going to spread, or it's not. And if it's not, then what the heck have we been doing since mid-March? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you go back out there and people get it, or you put yourself at risk, when you go step back into something that feels normal to you, that now comes with a risk that normal didn't used to have before, you got to know that you're taking a risk. I was willing to take that risk with my family because we took every precaution that we could be presented with to go on a vacation. And I think that we need to get back to normal. And I also, there are people in my life who are elderly or immunocompromised that I would not, since I got back from Florida on Monday evening, I'm not running up to those people and hugging and kissing on them right now. I'm going to wait and make sure that I'm making responsible decisions, as is the rest of my family. But we do have to take risks. Going to a public place where people, it's never been cleaner. It has never been safer, in my opinion, to go to a place like Disney World, because everywhere you go, there are people wiping things down, and people sanitize before they get on a ride and after they get off of a ride. I mean, it makes you think about the way we used to live. Flu seasons, we've had a flu vaccine for how long now? Mm-hmm. And tens of thousands of people die every year from the flu. The vaccine is not going to eradicate COVID. So should we be playing baseball or shouldn't we be playing baseball? I think what he just said there is exactly spot on. I would definitely be playing if I didn't have anybody in my life that was immunocompromised. That would change the ballgame, which means there is personal decision making involved in this process. And I'll tell you this, what I would do with a family of 5 with 3 small kids is going to be different than what Katie was going to do, where she doesn't have kids at home and she and her husband are in their 20s and young and healthy without, extra folks around her house that could potentially be compromised. And that's going to be different than what Ryan is going to do with what we've confirmed earlier in the show is cystic fibrosis.
Oh, no, you said it wrong. No, I'm just kidding. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to be making personal decisions based on what's right for our families. And God bless America. That's what it's all friggin' about. You know, like Ryan, I'm sure that even in your household, you being somebody who's immunocompromised with a disease that affects your lungs, which makes you very susceptible to the dangerous end of the spectrum of what COVID can do. I would venture to guess, based on what I've heard from you, that even in your own household, those personal decisions are being negotiated and discussed on what's best for you and what's best for them. And there are being sacrifices being made on other people's parts for the benefit of you to keep you healthy.
Yeah, those personal decisions have to go on in my own brain half the time because I am very much on the side of open everything and let's get back to normal. But health-wise, every single person in my life keeps reminding me, you can't quite do that the same way as everybody else will.
I will never forget when this started. I'm like, Ryan, should you be concerned? You're like, I don't know, should I? And I'm like, I
don't
couldn't possibly
know.
tell you. Yeah, it would not
But
be.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't want to put you in danger. And
I
I'm
think
sure
you
that's-
both at the beginning of this thing were like, Ryan, should you be here right now? And I'm like, why? What's happening in the world? I don't know. Sure.
Oh, that's exactly what happened.
What kind of disease is it that I have? See, you've forgotten too.
Can somebody research this for me?
David's on the line with us. Let's get caller David on here. 314-241-9797 if you want to join us. David, if you've got us on speaker here, you can maybe turn that out. It's really noisy right now. David, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's real noisy. If you got your window down or...
It's just the connection, Annie. I just wanted to tell you I'm an essential worker, and I've been out from the get-go with this disease. I take standard precautions. I try to stay away from people. I don't get into close contact with strangers. But I don't know anyone that has been affected by the disease personally. I've heard of people in the area. I think it's overblown. And I have to question the mask. I was told that it was to protect other people. But then I hear people say, like Louis Gohmert's daughter, he caught the disease because he wasn't wearing a mask. Well, does the mask keep us from getting sick, or does it protect other people? I don't understand all the discrepancies.
David, thank you for the phone call.
Right.
I appreciate it. I want to say, first of all, that the severity of a disease like coronavirus, or a virus, I should say, the severity of that and the impact of that is not negated if it hasn't personally affected you. Correct. I know people in my personal life who have been drastically affected by this. I know people who are being threatened with it right now, and it is very serious. I know people who have lost loved ones that they suspect actually lost them. They were not in great health to begin with, but they suspect that the actual cause of death was coronavirus. So I think we have to be very careful when we say, like, I don't know anybody, so I think this is overblown. I will say, as an essential worker, David, thank you for what you do, and thank you for continuing to be there and to whatever service it is that you provide, being able to provide that for people. As far as the mask thing goes, I think that there's a purpose for wearing masks, and then there's where it goes into the political realm. I am willing to discuss mask wearing as somebody who is willing to do it when I'm asked to do it. I'm not like, I am never, ever going to go up to somebody and comment on their mask or their lack of a mask. It's not happening. I will not be that person. And if you come up to me to do that, I'm not going to like you as that person. So I don't go down that road. But I do know that as somebody who I've had 3 surgeries before, they all wore masks to make sure that while my body was opened up and they were taking care of me, whatever they were breathing out didn't cause problems for me. That mask is helpful in that capacity. I think that in a situation where we don't know everything about coronavirus, that the mask is not something, it's an extra precaution that I think is easy to take.
Yes.
I think that the reason why mask wearing is so political in our country right now is because the government lied to us in the first place about whether or not masks were good and purposeful, because they wanted to make sure that healthcare workers had the masks that they need. They told us that they weren't good. So the government lied to us so that we would do something instead of giving us the truth. Well, yeah, if you're like coming to grips with the government telling you something or the media telling you something because they want to have an outcome that they don't feel like they're going to get by giving the American people the truth. Well, I mean, welcome to 2020. Good grief. That's kind of the name of the game anymore, which is why we should always be questioning, which is why I'll go back to what I said before about the media, that when the president has in the past said that the media is the enemy of the people, I don't know that it's the enemy of the people, but in many cases, it's the enemy of truth. They process information and deliver perspective. They don't provide information for you to come up with your own perspective, for you to be able. I watched Tucker Carlson last night. We haven't talked about this much yet, but have you guys, Katie and Ryan, have you guys seen the video that was released, the George Floyd, the body cam?
I've seen a bunch of the still images. I haven't seen the full video.
Well, you know what? In this, everybody is talking about this body cam footage, and they're saying video does not prove anything, but it does add context to a situation. And Tucker plays this video last night, and he says, this does not exonerate anybody, and this does not prove anything, but it does add context. Those are very carefully chosen words on Tucker's part to avoid being canceled by saying, this is all blown out of proportion. That's not what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. But we do find out that as part of the conversation that took place before the video that everybody did see with George Floyd, that he was on his feet and he was cuffed and he was complaining about he said, ow, multiple times, and he was talking about being in pain, and he was saying that he couldn't breathe when he wasn't even being held, physically restrained by these officers. It's context. I don't know that this proves that Officer Chauvin shouldn't be in jail for the rest of his life. I don't know if it proves that George Floyd is, for someone to suggest that this would prove that George Floyd got what he deserves doesn't understand justice in this country at all. You should be judged by a jury of your peers, and you should have justice that should be tried in court. That's what we do in this country. So the ultimate culmination of what took place on that video, don't anybody look at the extra video that we've had now and suggest that that somehow or another this is no big deal. That should have been tried in a court of law, and George Floyd was not allowed for that to happen. But the idea here is that information is provided to you by the media so that you can make your own conclusion, that you can draw from the facts, the real information that's out there, and you, as an American citizen and voter, can look at the facts that have been presented and make your own conclusion. The problem with the media today is they do not trust you to come up with your own conclusion. They have to process the information first to make sure they serve it up to you exactly how they intend to. That is why they become an enemy. And as soon as we get back to the idea of presenting truth, that's the idea that will get us to the point where we actually start being we the people once again. When we come back, Bryce Hill is going to join us, senior research analyst at Illinois Policy, about the shutdown in Illinois and who it's affecting. Don't go anywhere. Back in a minute.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, August 15th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
A television show that defined a generation.
Hi, Zach Morris. Hey, what is going on here?
I'm talking, of course, about Saved by the Bell. Whether you tuned in when it first aired or caught reruns on cable hungover, everyone has seen Saved by the Bell. Everyone except this guy.
Hi, I'm Mark Paul Gosselaar, but you might know me better as Zach Morris, proud Bayside Lion.
Tiger.
Come on, I knew that.
Did you?
Listen, I haven't watched an episode of Saved by the Bell since I left the set over 25 years ago. I didn't watch it when it was on either. I've never seen what fans assure me is one of the greatest shows of all time.
My name is Dashel Driscoll. Unlike Mark Paul, I've seen every episode.
Join us as I revisit Bayside High for the very first time. I've got the world's biggest expert, and we can have guests. You know, I'm still friends, really good friends, with some of the people who made the original show.
What do we call it?
Zach to the Future. Listen and subscribe for free on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your shows.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Pushing for school openings. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar backing up the Trump administration's push to reopen schools in the fall.
It's going to vary based on local circumstances. There may be communities where that doesn't make sense. But for the most part, our kids can and need to get back to school, and it can be done in ways that protect them and keep them safe.
After a handful of schools in Georgia opened this week, a second grade class had to be shut down after a student tested positive for COVID-19 just 2 days into the academic year. Chicago schools announcing today all K through 12 students will take virtual classes to begin the new school year. President Trump this morning telling Fox News he believes school-age kids are virtually immune from coronavirus. Former Vice President Joe Biden and other speakers won't attend this month's Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee, citing coronavirus concerns. President Trump today saying he may give his convention speech from the White House as the GOP convention is scaled down for COVID-19 precautions. Former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates testifying before a congressional committee investigating Russia's interference in the last presidential election.
We've all heard Russian interference in our election so much that it's kind of lost its shock value. But this attack on our homeland was indeed shocking.
President Trump fired Yates shortly after taking office when she failed to defend his Muslim travel ban. The president tweeting about her testimony earlier today, saying she has zero credibility. Experts in Lebanon say it appears fireworks and ammonium nitrate appear to have been the fuel that ignited a massive explosion yesterday that rocked Beirut. Rescue crews are still searching for potential victims, as officials believe the blast killed more than 100 and injured thousands. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of four is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, it just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial pound 250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
Dell supports America's entrepreneurs during Small Business Month with all you need to office anywhere. Save up to 45% on computers and servers with Intel Core processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus, save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies, nice temperatures, nice humidity levels, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, 70s this evening, 60 for the overnight low. A great night for sleeping in the summertime. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny skies, 82. Friday, partly sunny. It's a little warmer. It's a little more humid. Just a slight chance of a late day thunderstorm, 85 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated by men and women who live in our community. They are ready to help you and are taking precautions recommended by public health officials. Get a remote or on-site estimate from them today. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
Hello, everyone. This is Sean Rimmerman, your host of We're Having a Senior Moment, every Saturday morning on 97.1 FM Talk. Tune in this Saturday and hear how we can help you figure out what to do with all that stuff Mom left behind. Our show is all about helping you figure out what to do on this path called aging. Because at Comfort Care, we want you to learn how to live your best life possible. So tune in this Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353224143.
Stay connected every weekday. Mark Cox and Brian Kilmeade in the morning. Annie Frey, then Dave Glover in the afternoon. Sean Hannity every weekday evening. 97.1 FM Talk. Streaming at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
They putting the
first debate so late? The first debate should be at least before the first ballots go out, and they have it a month later, almost a month later. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, September 29th in Ohio.
Regardless what it is, I'm ready to debate. I don't care. I hear he wants to get out.
So Donald Trump there talking about wanting to get out and have the debates. I mean, are you guys, Katie and Ryan, do you feel like you're back to normal at all? Do you feel like, the much hated phrase, do you feel like you have a new normal, or do you feel like you're itching to reinsert yourself into a world that is like out there, just outside of the length of your arm to reach?
Unfortunately enough, I have become accustomed to what's going on right now. I can't wait. I cannot wait for things to move along and for some type of normalcy to come back. But yes, I have adapted to the new normal and I'm just used to it. I'm used to you guys not being in the studio. I'm used to seeing 10 people every day. I'm used to wearing a mask. I'm used to it.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast things that feel like such a huge change become normal. I drove into downtown St. Louis probably last week at some point to go into the main studio there off hours. And it felt like I was visiting a foreign country. Like, oh, this is the way the world was, and this is the way it probably will be again soon. It just, the world has been shrunk to our basements for so long now that you forget that there's this bigger world that we're eventually going to go back to.
Yeah, there are parts of this that I don't want to have to change.
Yeah.
And I think that we have been thrust as Americans, we've been thrust into a situation where we are forced to take inventory of our lives and to look at how, what's important, because if it's important, you've probably made time and made an effort to continue to make that part of your life. And you've looked, I look at my calendar every time I go back and I'm scrolling, like I need to look up a date or something. And I go back into either 2019 on my phone calendar or January. I'm like, I almost feel like a panic attack coming on.
Yes.
The anxiety of, I literally would live 2 hours in advance. That is all I knew. And whatever I was doing in the next 2 hours, that's what I had in my brain, because I couldn't do more than that because there was so much stuff going on. I like this slower pace of life, but we do have to get our economy going back the way it's supposed to be running, the way Americans do this, and getting people back to work. You combine, this is a very, very tumultuous time for people who are in a position like me or my husband. I'm sure, Ryan, you guys are probably having these same questions. It is August 5th. Happy birthday to my best friend, childhood friend, Tim, by the way. I just realized it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Tim.
Happy birthday, Tim. We are getting to a point where school is supposed to start in like 10 days, and plans are still changing to the tune of you might have to figure out how you are going to continue to have an income in your household because you're going to have kids at home. And are you going to have somebody come watch them? Does the amount of money you're going to have to pay to have them be watched, does it balance out with the amount of money you're making at your job? I mean, this is extremely stressful on people in a way that it hasn't been probably for the last few months, while we're all kind of scratching our heads and wondering, do we take the family vacation or not? This is starting to get very serious and very real for a lot of people as they have job questions, as they have education questions for their kids going forward. What is happening? Let's talk to our guest about it. Bryce Hill is a senior research analyst at the Illinois Policy Institute, and he can talk to us a little bit about how in the state of Illinois, moms are taking the brunt of COVID-19 unemployment. Bryce, thank you for coming on the show today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, Annie, thank you so much for having me.
Kind of explain to us a little bit about how Illinois moms are facing this pandemic maybe a little bit differently than some other individuals throughout the course of the state.
Yeah, so, obviously we've seen record unemployment numbers. We have 1 million people in the state of Illinois that are unemployed, and a disproportionate number of them are women. And the eye-opening statistic is that job losses have primarily affected women with children more than anybody else. So compared to men with children, women with children have experienced 3 times the job loss. We're already seeing women dropping out of the labor force, likely to contend with some of the issues that you raised at the beginning of the segment. And the longer that we go on and the more uncertainty that we have about how long daycare capacities may be limited, what's going to happen with schools, the more disastrous the effects are going to be, particularly for mothers who are searching for work right now.
Bryce, is this an issue that's specific to Illinois because of the way that we've handled the COVID crisis, or is this kind of across the nation? No matter where you are, if you're a mom, you've bore the brunt of this.
Sure. So this is part of a larger trend nationwide. So women, particularly mothers, have been faced with greater job losses than men. But the Illinois unique component of it is where other states, some of them are starting to head back to school already. Some of them have fewer restrictions. There are some small differences, not small, I should say, significant differences in the experience of women and working mothers and unemployment or employment prospects.
Bryce Hill joining us right now from Illinois Policy Institute. We're going to put him on hold for a second here and see if we get his connection established a little bit more. Ryan, I want to ask you about your situation at home. I know that we both send our kids to parochial or private schools, and I've been checking emails because I just saw yesterday the Alton School District has said that they are going to first quarter all remote learning. I know Muscuda School District is doing remote learning, I think, for the first quarter. From what I understand, Collinsville School District is doing a modified version, partly remote, it's partly in person. But, I get the feeling, I get the vibe that all of that could change at any minute. And you would have to, completely reconfigure your plans. I mean, what are you going to do as a parent if you find out that in 4 days your kid's going to be learning from home and you're going to be responsible for their care? I mean, in the state of Illinois, I think you have to be 14 before you can actually stay at home without adult supervision.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, is that it's changing so fast. And like you said, my wife is a teacher. We send our kids to a private school. And in our situation, it's the same school that they're going to, which is great for commutes. But if they go full remote, which it could happen any day, then our kids would have to stay home while my wife goes to school. So there are so many situations like this that are happening right now. And it's not just if you're a teacher, it's if you're working from home, if you're working at an office, it's all different. And without a concrete plan and everything changing, man, I really feel for especially moms. Because it affects me too, but I think mom's bearing the stress of it anyway, more than I am.
All right. Well, I want to take a quick break. Katie, if you don't mind, let's take a quick break. I'm having some, I think, technical difficulty on my end here. We're going to come back with Bryce Hill and reconnect with him regarding the situation facing Illinois moms, facing Illinois residents, and especially the unemployment scenario in the state of Illinois has been very precarious. We'll have that discussion here in just a minute when we return. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the Andy Frey Show.
Problems, that's the human in me. Bling, bling, then I solve them. That's the goddess in me. You could have had a bad, not committal. Help you with your
You're listening to the Andy Frey Show.
You're supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back. And that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why men great till they gotta be great?
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station for many years as the financial expert. Trust and results are the two biggest factors in an advisor, and this is why Doug is so successful. So listen to Safe Money Radio 7 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk. He can see you at the office with plenty of distancing, of course. He can do a virtual call. 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Window World. So Window World is a national company, but locally owned and operated here in St. Louis. A couple of North County boys, good people, good guys, just looking to do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. So we only really have one big competitor. These are the guys that sell the $3,000 windows, negotiate them down to $2,000. You feel like a champ, but ours are still a fraction of that. For $2,000 even, you could do a whole house full of windows with Window World. We're one of only 2 window companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. We have JD Power and Associates vouching for us again, Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Home Advisor. Everyone loves Window World. So check them out at windowworld.com or call 314-993-1800. Make sure you mention me for special financing offers. They have a lifetime warranty, a lifetime guarantee. Once you pay for that window, you'll never spend another dime on it. That's windowworld.com.
Hey, natural gas leaks can be very dangerous if you're not careful.
A tip from your friends at Mango, Missouri's Association of Natural Gas Operators.
If you smell the odor of natural gas, leave it to the professionals to track it down. Don't turn any electrical appliances on or off. Cell phones or light switches can create a dangerous spark. Warn others and leave the building immediately. Make sure you call your gas company from another location.
Learn more natural gas safety tips at mosafegas.com.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. For a limited time, the Federal Reserve is taking actions to lower mortgage interest rates into the 2s. This is a temporary move designed to give homeowners the lowest monthly payment possible. At the Home Loan Expert, we are saving folks hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a refinance. Don't miss your chance. Take advantage of this program before it's too late. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Here's a great review of Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance from Terry. He says, we've had only the best experiences with Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. The service people are always friendly, courteous, reliable, completely knowledgeable, and very professional. As retired people, we have the peace of mind and confidence that our entire home is being well looked after, and we've discovered that if anything goes wrong, Upkeep is there, sometimes within hours. There you have it, folks. When you sign up with Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance, you're not just getting a home warranty. You're getting their team of technicians who come out to your home 4 times a year to make sure everything is running smoothly and to make things easier on you. And like Terry said, if there's an issue, they are going to fix it so quickly because they already have a handle on the situation. You've forged this relationship over time, and you can trust your home to Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Code DGS gets you $100 off at upkeepstl.com.
Your energy needs are changing. That's why Ameren Missouri isn't waiting on the future. We're building it with a smart energy plan, advancing thousands of projects across the state. Here in St. Louis, we're adding new clean energy sources and installing new composite poles to better withstand storms. Moving Missouri closer to a future of energy centered around you. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/plan.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service.
I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around in sleepy towns forever. Back roads empty for miles.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show, specifically to Ryan and me, who apparently were the only people who were having technical difficulties. Bryce Hill is...
We don't matter.
No, Bryce is still holding on the line with us. And Bryce, I have to say, it's not you, it's me.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Well, Ryan and I were both like, what is going on here? And Katie didn't even hear what we heard. So we've got it all squared away as far as we know. And this is an important conversation. So I appreciate you hanging on the line with us so we can have it. The way that COVID is affecting Illinois moms is what we were discussing there. I was talking to you about unemployment as well in the state of Illinois. Unemployment, I keep hearing people talk about how disastrous the unemployment system is, that there are people who have been trying to get unemployment. They can't get the system to work. That doesn't seem to be a pressing issue for somebody to get it fixed. It just seems like in the state of Illinois, all of this is a disaster. And yet at the end of this election season, when November hits, they're going to ask us to sign on the dotted line to give this same legislature and the same governor the ability to enact a progressive income tax, which they can shift those different brackets at a whim of a simple majority. 51% say, yes, these are the new tax brackets. they can do that, and they have a super majority of Democrats right now. The state of the Illinois economy is a disaster mode, and it seems as though COVID is doing us absolutely no favors. So pick up where you left off a little bit, explaining about how this is affecting the Illinois moms. I'm sure that this is affecting moms across the country similarly as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, the Illinois economy is kind of in shambles right now. We have 1 million people out of work, actively seeking work. Women with children have lost their jobs at 3 times the rate of men. And, as the year continues, these women are going to be faced with, a lot of them are going to be faced with tough decisions about, do they return to work and not know what to do with their kids if schools are closed or if daycare services are limited? Do they stay home and forego employment and income that they need to be able to sustain their families? And we got all this news just right before we saw last week's GDP numbers, which showed a 33% contraction in economic activity that represents $90 billion a day. The state is losing $1 billion a day in economic activity due to the downturn. And so you mentioned the progressive income tax. If we want to provide a stable economy, one that's going to allow jobs to return, one that's going to put people back to work and give working mothers and those who are out of work opportunity in the future, we need to begin to say no to this tax hike and the greater taxation powers in Springfield.
Bryce, are you saying that this gap that we're seeing with women unemployment in Illinois, it's going to get worse if schools do decide to stay closed longer?
That's very likely going to be the case. So, whether or not schools open, this needs to be part of the larger conversation, just recognizing that whether we like it or not, women disproportionately take care of children and do housework in their household. And so the more that those responsibilities increase, the less likely it is going to be for many of these women to be able to return to work. We're already seeing that in the labor figures. So we've seen labor force dropout for women of 6.3% so far, and that's something that's expected to grow, especially with all this uncertainty regarding schools or daycares.
Bryce, I want to ask you about any solutions or any possible directives that we could take as a state that would help support these women, whether they're moms or they're just women who are seeking to be gainfully employed. Is there anything that we can do as a state, as a legislator, as voters, directions that we can take right now that would help move us into a more economically sound position sooner rather than later?
Sure. So while the things that like Congress or Washington are working on are kind of short-term stimulus injections for the economy to try to keep things afloat, what we can do at the state level is to take a broader view and to look at what the future should look like and how do we provide the most opportunity for everyone in the future. And that really starts and ends with the progressive income tax vote that's coming up in November. So you mentioned the November election. Illinoisans are going to be able to decide on what kind of power they want to give to Springfield. And enacting a progressive income tax in this severe of a downturn goes against virtually any serious economist's recommendations. It's going to serve as something that takes away even more jobs. It's going to dampen economic activity even more. And so if we want to put the state on solid footing to have a prosperous and long economic future, we need to begin to talk about the implications of the progressive income tax, and voters really need to take a stand and say no to increased taxes once again by Springfield.
Bryce, I've seen ads pop up on my streaming services saying all of the virtues of the progressive income tax and saying to people who might be unemployed right now or underemployed all because of coronavirus, saying, you know what, you actually pay less under this plan. What do you say to somebody who's hearing both sides of this argument and try to convince them that the progressive income tax will not benefit them?
Yeah, there are two major points that I would make. The first being the tax cut that the governor is promising low-income Illinoisans. We actually took a look at the numbers and took a look at average incomes in that bracket. The lowest income Illinoisans are going to be given $6 to start. That doesn't even include tax hikes like increased vehicle registration fees. It doesn't include tax hikes on local property taxes. So to sell this as a plan that's going to cut taxes for lower and middle income earners is really a lot of sleight of hand by the governor. And the next thing I would say is that how long do we expect these rates to be able to be in place, especially given the current environment? Lawmakers are relying on this plan to bring in $3.7 billion worth of revenue. We just saw a $90 billion drop in economic activity. So we're not going to bring in anywhere near that amount of money anymore. And so it just makes that even more likely that those tax hikes are going to creep their way down and down until eventually everybody in the state is going to be asked to pay more.
Bryce Hill with the Illinois Policy Institute. We appreciate this information. I want to encourage people to go to illinoispolicy.org to read the article that you have helped there with. Illinois moms take brunt of COVID-19 unemployment. We will share that as well at 971talk.com/Annie. Bryce, thanks for hanging on with us. And, this is my first day back from vacation. Things are a little rocky here, and we appreciate your time as we muddle through it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bryce Hill with the Illinois Policy Institute right there. I don't know what the technical difficulty was, but I guess everybody, Ryan and I are the only people who heard it.
Yeah, we're like, oh no, this must sound terrible, and everybody's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no kidding. It's funny to me to hear people say things that don't sound PC. When people say, if somebody says things like, this is affecting moms because they're the ones who more often stay at home and take care of the children and take care of the house. That's true, folks. That's just facts. But it's scary to say it out loud because then you hate women. Yep. And it's ridiculous that that's the world we live in. And you can hear things. I was shocked. This is a story that I had to print out because it just blew my mind that after being gone on vacation for about 2 weeks, that Kindergarten Cop is now being canceled. Did you guys see this story?
I didn't see this.
I'm like, what? You stay away from Arnold Schwarzenegger here. This was on Fox News. The NW Film Center canceled an August 6th outdoor screening of the 1990 movie, which I was in kindergarten in 1990, which is why I particularly like the movie Kindergarten Cop, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, after it was excoriated on Twitter for glorifying the traumatization of children by police. And this Kindergarten Cop was compared to these two movies, which obviously go together: Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind.
Of course. Yeah. It all makes sense.
Gosh. What I don't remember. What are they saying that police do to the kids?
And Gone with the Wind.
The film has been planned to serve as the kickoff event for a quote Cinema Unbound end quote summer drive-in movie series at Zedell Yards. The movie stars Schwarzenegger as a detective who goes undercover as a kindergarten teacher in order to root out a drug dealer whose child may be one of the students in the class. It was filmed in Astoria, Oregon, and turns 30 in December of this year. The NWFC chose it, quote, for its importance in Oregon filmmaking history, end quote. However, their stance quickly changed following a Saturday tweet storm by left-leaning Portland author Lois Levine. Levine went on Twitter, a Twitter rant. You go on Twitter rant about Kindergarten Cop, get a hobby. Levine went on Twitter rant 6 tweets long about how the film is exploitative and has no comedic or redeeming qualities. That sounds subjective. She also referenced a, quote, school to prison, end quote, pipeline, and claimed the police frequently arrest American children and throw them in jail.
Ugh, that is disgusting.
Canceled.
That is disgusting.
Do you know what I'm going to show my kids tonight? Kindergarten Cop.
That we're basing everything off of Twitter. Every single move we make, every single breath we take is dictated. You make Twitter's making it up. Twitter is seriously dictating everything.
I'll be canceling you.
It's true.
I'm saying it right now. We need to start a canceled movie festival. All movies that have ever been canceled, air them for a full weekend, pick a theater, let's do
It'll
it.
be our last week on the radio.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
Because someone's going to tweet about us.
First, Gone with the Wind, then Birth of a Nation, and finally we land you with Kindergarten Cop.
And as you highlighted, this freaking movie was made in 1990. Things have changed. Things have changed. Humor has changed since then. Everything has changed since then.
Especially
the internet has changed.
The internet has been in existence.
Yeah,
there you
since Al
go.
Gore made it in the 60s.
Have you seen Kindergarten Cop?
Oh, yeah.
Did the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop have a ponytail? Slick back ponytail?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
he looked like a bad guy.
He looked like a bad
If
guy.
you want to
yeah.
be a bad guy, you got to slick your hair back.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah. Disappointing.
I thought there was a larger point.
No, I'm scrolling through all the news. Like I'm trying to get coming into today after legitimately unplugging myself. If I saw there, I would scroll through my phone. Like if you're standing in line for something or if you're waiting for a reservation, I would open my phone and maybe look at Facebook or look at, I didn't really look at Twitter because that is the cesspool. But I'm going through my phone and every once in a while a headline would pop up and I'd be like, that sucks. Thank God I don't have to read that, and keep scrolling. And then when I get home Monday night, I didn't do anything until Tuesday because yesterday I took the day off specifically to try to get my sea legs so I could come back on here and not sound like a complete moron. Sorry to the folks who I failed in that regard. But we're looking at these stories and Beirut has this, what looks like it is a bomb. Isn't it?
Sure,
like
yeah.
it was a bomb. The question is like why, not
intention.
what. But that's going on, and I'm like, oh, we're still talking about mail-in voting. Check, I can do that from when I left. And oh, we're still talking about Joe Biden's cognitive ability. I mean, he's trying to talk about it, but he can't get the words out of his mouth. Okay, I can go on from there. We're talking about primaries. We're talking about the squad. We're talking about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and police brutality and George Floyd. Okay, I'm versed on all that. I just need to catch up where we are in the saga. What about kindergarten cop? Why is this a headline? And I'm reading it, I'm like, this is the most predictable and unpredictable story to come out of 2020 yet. Like, of course the story is in 2020.
Absolutely.
You were here in 2020.
I wanted to ask you, and I know that you're going to go in broader detail tonight in the Pixie Dust podcast, but I did have some questions for you about the vacation. And my first question was,
I just want to go on record right now is to say that I didn't know Katie was going to ask me these questions. And if you're the type of person who turns off the radio show when the word Disney is mentioned,
I'll answer.
Come back in 10 minutes and maybe we'll be done with it.
I feel
I've already
like
gotten hate from people on our Facebook page because of that.
Whatever. You took a vacation. Sorry.
Let's just change the word Disney to be something else and then nobody will know.
Happy Land.
Happy Land. Relaxation time. Did you
Happy
feel
Land Spa.
like a normal person
Jealous.
taking all of that time and not, because I said this to you before the show, you were not on social media. You were not tweeting really. You were not Facebooking really. You were not glued to your phone as we have to be because it's part of our job. How did that feel? How did it feel?
I'll answer that for her.
Well, let's just put it this way. Yeah, I should have Ryan answer it and then I'll just nod in agreement or shake my head no. Let's put it this way. I realized that I pretty much immediately wanted to go back and that I needed a job in order to make that possible. This being here, and I said to my husband, I said, it is so awesome to be blessed with an ability to provide for my family that when I come back to this, to talk to you, whether you are somebody who comments on our Facebook Live every day, or you comment on our YouTube Live every day, or you've never called the show, made a comment, but you hang out with me for 3 hours a day, for 10 minutes a day on your lunch break, whatever you do, I am so incredibly blessed to have this so that when I come back from a vacation, which was a long one, and I require a long vacation in the middle of the year like this so that I will actually force myself to unplug, because if I take a long weekend here and a long weekend there, it's too much work to try to recalibrate everything. Like I said to Katie before we started the show, I said, it's going to take me all of this week to get myself back into the cycle of knowing what's going on, because I legitimately am paying attention to the news in some way, shape, or form every waking hour. I have news alerts going off on my phone. I scroll through Facebook. I read Twitter. I read Google Stories. I read all of the websites that you don't want to read because you can't stand how they present information. Like, I am immersed in it, and it will take me, I need a window of time where I have been fully invested in it to be able to do this with ease. And it will probably take me this week to get that down. But to be able to come back and not dread this, I am so grateful for that. I am so appreciative for that. And I am so incredibly grateful that, Ryan Recker is willing to fill in for us for a full week, and Tim Jones is available and Mike Ferguson is available. That I know I filled in before I got this job. I was Mark Cox's fill-in.
Mhm.
So when Mark would take, because he had this slot, when Mark would take a vacation, I would fill in for him. And there'd be people like, oh, I love it when Annie's on. But there were also people who are like, Annie's great, but when does Mark come back? And I respect that because it was the Mark Cox show. You were there because it is his show. So I know that there are people who are like, all right, Annie, when are you getting back here? I got so many people who commented to me, sent me messages, sent me emails that were like, we really appreciated these fill-ins when they were gone. We're looking forward to having you come back. But it was complimentary across the board. And so I'm grateful for you guys for that as well, because you were part of keeping that ship steady. So I would say that I am grateful to the audience for permitting me that amount of time to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very grateful to be back because this is going to help me save up money so I can go back to Disney.
Absolutely.
We all know your end goal.
We just value, I think that we value the time away from our phones and technology so much because we don't have that luxury. We don't get to do that. It's part of our job. So to have a couple of days where you're like, I really don't have to check my phone every single time I see a Fox News alert has got to be so like, I know it's a small window of time, but man, that feels good.
Just know this, Annie, it's still okay to watch Kindergarten Cop because it's got the greatest quote in it that's usable in so many circumstances. It's not a tuma. It's not a tuma.
It's not a tuma.
And you can say it anywhere. You can say it at birthday parties. You can say it at weddings. You can say it at probably not funerals.
That was Kindergarten. Oh.
Did you miss it? Did you miss it? You know you did.
Well, now I remember.
Did you miss
When is
it?
my next trip? I think it's when I think back about Kindergarten Cop, it was one of those movies that we had on VHS tape. And you remember, if you grew up when we grew up, and Katie, did you have tapes?
I did. Yes.
Were you mostly VHS tapes or were you mostly DVDs?
For about 6 years. VHS tapes. Yeah, 6 months. It was about 6 years.
When you would get a tape, when you would be able to tape something off of one of the 5 TV channels that you had and you had a movie, like I remember we had My Cousin Vinny. I don't know why we were watching that, but it was on KPLR and we taped it and we knew the order of all the commercials that were in the VHS, the recording that we had made, but it was like our only way to watch something other than whatever was on TV. In middays, like right now, it was all soap operas. So as a kid, it was like, you would have to go to Channel 9 and watch some kiddie shows, but the kiddie shows, even when you're kind of outgrown them, it was better than the stuff that was happening on the soap operas and the neighboring channels. But like if you had a Kindergarten Cop on a VHS tape, it's not like it had to be your favorite movie. It was the only alternative you had for something to watch, and you would watch it, and you would watch it, and you would watch it. I had Kindergarten Cop. We had Never Ending Story.
Oh yeah.
My Cousin Vinny, that fits in there nicely. Annie. With Carol Burnett, the only Annie that I like to watch. I haven't seen any of the other ones, but they've made it many times, and that's my favorite. I've heard good things about the most recent one too. I just haven't watched it.
Ours were Home Alone and Beethoven.
Nice.
I think maybe we had Beethoven was a classic TV movie. Yeah. All right. Well, go to your local Blockbuster and ask for Kindergarten Cop, and everybody will wonder what's going on. All right. We'll take a quick break. Be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Sing it again, the notes never end. This is where I belong. Just the sound
You're
of
listening
your
to the
voice,
Annie Frey
the
Show.
light in your eyes. We're so far away from yesterday together.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air conditioner tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your cooling system running efficiently, prevent repairs, and extend its life. Schedule your AC tune-up and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
It's Mark Cox. Let's talk real estate for a minute. If you're thinking about selling your home and maybe you have questions or concerns, I think I can help. Just one call to my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu with GL International Realty, part of Coldwell Banker Premier Group, will answer your questions. Like, is now a good time to sell? Gloria Liu has your answer to this popular question, and Gloria and her amazing team will show you how she sells faster and safely all across the St. Louis area. Here's her secret. Gloria and her team use the power of her exclusive Buyers in Waiting program to create high demand when inventory is lower. That's a big plus. And Gloria is so confident she'll sell your home at your agreed to price, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed. You'll love working with Gloria Liu. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage is home of the bagel loan, and that bagel loan is doing people some amazing, amazing things. If you owe more than $250,000 on your home right now, and your interest rate is currently in the 4s, you need to call Stewie today and get yourself a bagel loan. You'll get a lower monthly payment, or you can keep your payment right where it is and shave months or years off of the length of your loan. That is going to save you so much money in interest. And think about what you could do right now with the money that you'll be saving. If you want to lower your monthly payment, there are really amazing rates on a 15-year mortgage. There are really amazing rates on a 30-year mortgage. You can get it all with the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. And here is his personal cell phone number. This is the number that I talked to Stewie on, and it's the number I'm giving you. You can call him, or Annie Frey Show privilege. You can text him as well to get yourself set up on what's best for your particular situation. Here's the number. Put it in your phone. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You cannot afford not to make this call or send this text. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Our standards are the highest I've ever seen in the business, and I've been in this industry my entire life.
That's jewelry veteran Robert Violante at Diamonds Direct, talking about how only the best of the best diamonds make it to the Diamonds Direct showcases.
We start by selecting the very best rough. We cut it, polish it, and then take the top 15 to 20% and offer that to our clients.
That mine-to-showroom concept allows Diamonds Direct to offer superior quality for less.
One thing that always surprises clients is how much further their budget will go with Diamonds Direct. They may have been looking at a 1 carat somewhere else for what they were hoping to spend. Well, at Diamonds Direct, you could get a 1 1/4, sometimes a 1 1/2, and it's really amazing.
And then there's the after the sale commitment from Diamonds Direct, a promise to stand by that jewelry for life for free.
Once you become a Diamonds Direct client, you're our customer in our family forever. We take care of your ring for life for free. You never pay for any service. Anything you ever need done, we take care of free for life.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
So a week before we left for vacation, all of a sudden we woke up and it was warm in our house. And we usually keep the house running pretty cool at night, helps everybody sleep. And sleepy kids allow for sleeping parents, which allows for happy life. Air Comfort Service was ready to take my phone call at 314-513-0091 when we woke up, and it was not working. I called that number. That's the same number you're going to call. And they had somebody out in our house within a couple of hours, and it was a fix that they were able to do on site, and we were back up and running. If you have an air conditioning issue, I want you to call Air Comfort Service or put this number in your phone for the time that you might have an issue, so you have the people who you can trust. They are who I trust to come into my home. They've come to my house multiple times now for issues or to do the AeroSeal duct sealing on the ductwork in my house, which has made a massive difference. We had one of those houses that heated and cooled very differently on each floor level. They have really fixed that with the AeroSeal duct sealing. If you are needing somebody to come out, here's the number. Put it in your phone, 314-513-0091. The very best and kindest in the business, Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
The numbers are adding up as we try to raise money for Backstoppers. My beautiful, full head of hair will be shaved if we hit $5,000.
Save a sample for the Radio Hall of Fame.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
There are times when I look up
Well, when I think of Janet Jackson, I think of Donald Trump. That's not true, but Donald Trump was just talking, and I picked that music 3 hours ago, so that's just how that works out. I still say if we put fun, happy, positive music behind Trump, I think we would get people to vote for him. We're going to play his press conference there. I'll leave it up to Katie if she wants to leave Janet Jackson up because she's got her finger on the button. Let's listen to what the president had to say here from the White House.
A little bit there, please.
Mr. President, in your estimation, is mail-in voting safe in Arizona as it is, as you say, in Florida?
Well, I haven't discussed it with the governor. I can tell you in Florida, they've done a very good job with it. In Nevada, it would be a disaster. In New York, it's been a disaster. In many other places, it's been a total catastrophe. You know what's going on in New York with the Carolyn Maloney. I think they have to have a new election. You have no idea that fraud, all sorts of many ballots. Paterson, New Jersey, I guess it's 5% or 20% of the vote is tainted. You can't have that. You can't have that. So it's okay. Absentee voting, great. But this mail-in voting where they mail indiscriminately millions and millions of ballots to people, you're never going to know who won the election. You can't have that. And Nevada is a big state. It's an important state. It's a very political state, and the governor happens to be a Democrat. And I don't believe the post office can be set up. They were given no notice. I mean, you're talking about millions of votes. No, it's a catastrophe waiting to happen. And again, all you have to do is look at the vote that took place on a simple congressional district in an area that should be able to do it very easily in Manhattan. It's a total what's happened. It's a nightmare. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Look at Paterson, New Jersey, and look at other locations. We can't have that. You'll never know who the winner is, but the winner's going to be me. So we'll see you at 5:30.
Trump knows who the winner is.
Trump
already knows. We haven't voted yet. I want to. This mail-in voting thing. I hate when semantics cause us to have an agreement that can never be solved because both sides of the argument are arguing about different things. The idea of mail-in voting and absentee voting, if you're talking about mail-in voting and absentee voting as the same thing, semantically speaking, that's a possibility that they could be the same thing. Jonathan Swan of Axios, I haven't watched the interview. I figured by the time I got on the air, that interview would have been covered ad nauseum, and there'd be other insane stories to cover, and I would be doing that for you. But Jonathan Swan from Axios talked to him about mail-in voting. And this is a tweet within the last 24 hours from Jonathan Swan. When I interviewed POTUS, I said the mail-in voting materials people receive are applications, not ballots. That's overwhelmingly the case, but not universally so. For example, California and now post-taping Nevada. I should have used more precise language, and I'm sorry for the mistake. That's what Jonathan Swan said himself here within the last 24 hours on Twitter. That is important because there is a huge difference between the idea of mailing ballots out to be voted on to everybody, which is what Nevada is trying to do and California is trying to do. That is mail-in voting. That is different than saying, hey, I am not going to be in my home state during election day. Ryan is not going to potentially be in his home state during election day. He's going to have to vote absentee. And when he votes absentee and sends in his ballot that way, he has to request that ballot first. And so he can mail in an absentee ballot. That is different than a carte blanche. Everybody gets a ballot to every address of every voter, including people who have not been active voters for a long time and probably don't live at the addresses that they were sent to and could live in other locations now, maybe in different states where they are voting there, but somebody gets a hold of the ballot that was sent to them that, if checked, can be handed over to somebody and submitted in an actual election. And I got to tell you, my 4-year-old understood social distancing in Disney World. My 4-year-old was fully capable of wearing a mask the entire time, of abiding by all of the markings that said you stand here, and then when the spot in front of you is vacated, you stand there. She kept her hands off the railings for the most part. She was capable of doing that to get on a ride at Disney World. We can do that to vote in November. We absolutely can. So the argument over mail-in voting, make sure we all know what we're talking about. Don't say, when someone says to you, Donald Trump's been mail-in voting for the last however many years. That's an absentee ballot. That's different than the state of Florida or the state of Nevada or the state of California or the state of Missouri or Illinois sending ballots out to everybody so that they can all send them back in. It's different. And that is important. And you need to make that distinguishment before you get into the argument, not at the end when you already hate each other so much that it doesn't even matter. It makes me furious because the president is making an argument for something that semantically other people are holding him accountable for something he's not saying.
This just all falls along party lines too. And we all know it. So even if there's nothing nefarious that's going to happen, even if there's not some secret super PAC that's going to be changing people's votes and altering things on purpose, the whole point of Democrats trying to get mail-in voting passed is that they want to increase turnout because they don't have any confidence in their candidate. So they're worried that nobody's going to show up to vote for Joe Biden. And so they want to increase the turnout. Republicans, same thing. They don't want, fraud, first of all, but they also don't want that to happen, that nobody cares about the candidate, but we're sending you a ballot and we're dangling right in front of your face. So you're probably going to punch it anyway.
Yeah, so you might as well do it.
Yeah.
Real quick before we turn this over to the Dave Glover Show, I was having this thought while I was eating my lunch, which is grapes. And I think it's the same as to be said when you're eating French fries. Do you have a preference? Like if you get a box of McDonald's French fries, is there a French fry in there that you want to eat first because it looks like it tastes better to you?
Oh, most crispy French fry, longest and most crispy.
So I was eating this bunch of grapes. And when you eat a bunch of grapes, you pick all the good grapes off first and you eat them. And you probably look at some of the grapes and you think, that's disgusting. I'm not going to eat that. But then when you run out of grapes and you're still hungry and you still need something to eat, you see those grapes, you start eating the grapes that at the first point you never would have touched. That's like the way it is right now in our election. We're down to the last grapes that have some imperfections, but we still need a solution here. You've looked at the pile of French fries. You've taken out all of the delicious French fries. You've picked all of the best ones. And you're looking at this smaller pile of French fries with less choices and less options. And you're like, I'm still going to eat that. Just the way it is to vote for Donald Trump. It's possibly the way Democrats are going to look at voting for Joe Biden, which is, it's not the cream of the crop. It's not exactly the French fry that you had envisioned in your mind when you first ordered that order of French fry or the bunch of grapes. It's not the very first plump, big grape that you wanted, but you've got some options here and some are better than others. And you're still willing to eat those, even though at the beginning you can't foresee in your mind how you would have gone straight to that one. But it's the best of what you got, and you got to do what you got to do. And I think that we're at that point in our election cycle where we're going to have to rectify some things before we get to have the best of the best. We have to solve the problem that we have of this media that doesn't want to give you the truth because they have something else that they want to give you first. Their perspective, their insight. They want to affect change through what they see as best, not what you think is best, because they don't trust you with it. All right. That was a random thought by Annie Frey, and I had to share it with
those grapes.
No, yeah, I can't believe you guys diagnose your French fries before you eat them. I just grab a handful and as many as it can fit in my mouth.
Not surprised.
That is incredibly not shocking to me. That is exactly as how I would expect it. Before I go, I want to let you know, if you go like the Pixie Dust Podcast Facebook page, if you want to know more about my Disney vacation, I'm going to debrief tonight at 7:30 p.m. with Erica Murphy, my friend on the Pixie Dust Podcast, and Tony Colombo is going to join us as well because he has a vacation coming up. If you have questions, you'll be able to ask questions and participate that way, but make sure you go like the Pixie Dust Podcast Facebook page to get a notification at 7:30 when we go live. I'm so happy to be back. I am so grateful that you are here with me. And the Dave Glover Show is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Jams, kick up the soul, pour another glass of that rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum with me.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already